it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on our video today. As you can see by the title, our reading today is all about when, where, and how you'll meet your soulmate. I have my breakdown. I just want to show you guys what we are doing. We do have an extended today, but normally I kind of have a breakdown for the extended, but today, after we get through our initial reading here on YouTube, I'm gonna make notes of like any questions that come up or like anything that makes sense to like pursue it further for that specific group. So each group is going to have its own like catered extended reading, which I feel like will be more helpful because I saw some other like tarot creators do that, and I feel like that makes a lot of sense because sometimes that like breakdown that we're using for every group just doesn't apply to everyone. So the extended will be decided for each group. But yes, so here on YouTube, we're going to be looking at the energy check between you and them right now. We're going to see, like, do you know this person? Who is this person? What's going on in both of your lives? And then we will see specifically when, where, and how you will meet them, this soulmate of yours. So yeah, I mean, I will explain a little bit more once we get into the groups today, but that's pretty much it. I'm super excited for this. I do feel like it's going to be quite an in-depth reading. Hold on, let me move this. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be quite in-depth because there's just a lot to talk about for all different like aspects of what's going on. So yeah, I'm super excited. I hope everyone's ready. Grab a snack, get comfy. I feel like there's a lot that we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, let's get into your selections. There are 4 groups for you guys to choose from. Each group has a different tarot deck, a different crystal, and a different card that came out as I shuffled. And I'm going to be stating the astrological placements for each card that comes out. So there could be multiple ways for you to be drawn to your groups. You could be drawn to the back artwork, you could be drawn to the front artwork, you could be drawn to the actual card or the like the astrological placement of that card. So multiple ways for you to be drawn to a group, and keep in mind you can watch as many groups as you want. There could be multiple soulmates that are coming into your life, multiple important connections, important people. I will say I am probably reading this as a romantic reading today. Those are my intentions. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I know that, you know, not everyone is looking for a romantic reading, but you can definitely still watch this if you want to interpret it for your own situation. But, you know, I will say a lot of times when messages are romantic, it's kind of tough to interpret them in a platonic manner. So I will say this is probably going to be our romantic readings for today. But group 1, this is the Ethereal Visions Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this amethyst chunk. And your card is the moon. This is associated with the sign of Pisces. Group 2, this is the Wild Unknown Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this clear quartz. And your card is the Ace of Wands. This is associated with fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Group 3, this is a pink Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this rose quartz. And your card is the Emperor with the keywords respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules and power, authority, father figure, protection, control, discipline, focus, practicality. And this is the sign of Aries. Group 4, this is the Transient Light Tarot. This is what the back looks like. Your crystal is the sodalite. And your card is the Chariot. This is associated with the sign of Cancer. Okay, you guys, here are all of your options laid out for you side by side. Take all the time you need to pick your groups, and keep in mind you can watch as many as you'd like. I'm going to get started with group number 1. Hey guys, if you chose this moon card with the Ethereal Visions Tarot and this amethyst chunk with the sign of Pisces, this is your group. Hello, group number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for all of your support here on my channel. Whether it's your first time here or if you have watched my readings before, thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today. So let's go ahead and quickly look at our breakdown. So this is all about when, where, and how you'll meet your soulmate. First, we're going to start off with an energy check that I have right here. This is going to be your current energy. This is going to be their current energy. And this is the energy of the connection itself. So if this kind of sounds like you and your person, whether you know them or you don't, if it kind of sounds like what you are navigating right now for your current soulmate connection, then definitely stick around and we'll get into the rest of the questions with the deck you chose. But if this really does not sound like you or your person or the connection, then definitely check out a different group. But we're going to start off with that, and then we're going to look at the when. We're going to look at your internal energy and your external energy, and this is going to be like your mile marker for when this person is coming into your life. So it's going to be kind of specific to like what you're going through in that time period. So that's another way to know if like that sounds like you and sounds like your energy. And then for the where, we're going to see what is the setting / environment of your first meeting. We'll also see, is it physical or is it digital? And we'll see how do you actually meet them, you know, what is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face? Is it divine timing, you know, through mutual friends? Is it that you or them are taking action? Like, how is it actually playing out? And then we'll see what are the first impressions between the two of you, the very first thing you both feel when your energies collide. So that's what we're looking at here on YouTube. And I said the extended is to be decided. So I actually have this little notebook here and a pen. So we're gonna jot down any questions or anything that comes up that I want to ask about in your extended, or anything that feels like, you know, it makes sense to talk about that in the extended. So yeah, so get comfy, get cozy, because we're probably gonna be sitting here for a hot second. I'm like, where do I put this? Okay, I think I kind of like it better there. So first things first, it kind of feels like you could be like questioning something, wondering, pondering, anticipating. You could even be in an unknown, because the moon does kind of talk about, you know, unknown, being in the dark a little bit. You don't have the full answers. You can't see the full picture. So there could be some questioning going on about either a specific person that you have in mind or like your love life in general. I'm actually gonna kind of move this over here. But it does feel like you don't have all of the answers to your questions just yet. So this is going to be your energy on this side. This is their energy on this side. This is the energy of the connection. So I want to see like what is currently going on here with the connection itself, and then we will answer the question. So for group one's energy, ooh, I think about us a lot. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I was just saying that you're like questioning, pondering, reminiscing, trying to figure something out. So yeah, it feels like you probably, let's see, for some of you, it's possible that you don't know them, but you're just like thinking about your soulmate or like waiting for that collision to happen. But for a lot of you, it's possible you already know who this person is. Pisces, oh my gosh, this is the exact same energy again. This is very specific energy for group one. It's like your current energy towards this connection and this person. It's very dreamy. It's very 12th house. It's very much like in your mind. Maybe you dream about them. You think about them at night. Like you're very much like, you very much get caught up in a daydream, caught up in some kind of fantasy, or caught up in your mind when it comes to this connection and this person. Because this 12th house with Pisces, this is a very intuitive card. Maybe you're picking up a lot of signs and synchronicities and intuitive messages about this person, but this really feels like you get caught up in your head a lot because of this person and because of this connection. 3 of Cups. Okay, you really miss them. So I think for group one, I think you definitely know who this person is. Especially with this, it feels like you've had some level of a friendship or some level of a human interaction or a human like face-to-face encounter already with this person. This is also water, so you have a lot of like intuition and emotions on your side. This is Mercury in Cancer. It feels like you have a lot you want to say to this person, or you really want to talk to them, and you want to talk to them about your heart. You want to talk to them about like the emotions that you actually feel, because Mercury is about communication. And with Pisces and Cancer and even this dreaming and thinking energy here, it's like you want to tell them how you feel. You want to tell them what your heart is saying. You want to have like deep, meaningful conversations with this person. I think you really miss them. You probably miss hanging out with them, spending time with them. There does seem to be distance, physical distance right now between you and this person, which causes you to think about them a lot. And maybe there was some like something was left unsaid, there was a lack of closure. Maybe that's why you're overthinking a scenario. Um, for some of you, if you don't know who this person is, or maybe you know of them, because there's just something here on like you have feelings. You could even be a secret admirer to this person. So say you've never had an actual connection with them here in the 3D, but like you have a crush on them, or you know of them, you have class together, or you work together. There's something about like I'm admiring you from a distance, and it's like you're not able to speak up and tell them how you really feel, or like you want to, but you're not able to. Because with this being Mercury and Cancer in the distance, maybe for some of you, it's like you want to talk to them, but you don't have the opportunity to speak to them. So I think actually this could go either way, but I do think to, at the least, you know of them. Now, could this be a random soulmate that I guess it's possible. Like, it's possible that you are intuitively picking up on a soul connection here, but you have no idea who they are. So I think, yeah, it's possible you can still be dreaming about them and fantasizing and wanting to communicate, wanting to get to know them. But I do think for like the majority of you, you already know of them at the very least. So let's just clarify a little bit more on what's going on. I want to see what is this person, this soulmate of yours that's coming through. I want to see what is. Oh, that's interesting. I just got this message that some soulmates are meant to last, but some soulmates teach us something. For some of you, if this is somebody from your past, Spirit is saying they did come into your life for a reason, because they were meant to teach you something, or like you were meant to evolve from that connection, and it happened for a reason. Even if they're not around right now, or even if there's been separation, and even if some of you, even if this person moved on, Spirit is saying they came into your life for a reason. Because maybe you question, was this a waste of my time? Why did Spirit do this to me? You know, why would they give me a soulmate and then remove them? Like you could have some animosity in a sense towards the universe about something, how something played out. But Spirit is saying it happened for a reason. You know, soulmates come and go. Not every soulmate is meant to last. That's so interesting. That might not be for everyone, but if you resonate with that, definitely take, oh my gosh, cuddles, please. Okay, so it definitely seems reciprocated. Okay, let me keep going. 10th house. Temperance. Okay, that's interesting. This is Sagittarius energy, and the 10th house, this is Capricorn energy. What is the energy between? Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Is this person pregnant? I can't tell. They're holding their belly, but I can't tell. Okay. This is Taurus energy. This is actually Saturn in Taurus. Oh, interesting. Saturn in Taurus, that could be a specific astrological placement. So if you were born in like the second half of 1999, and I think it goes on to like 2002, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's like 3.5 years, 4 years from that second half of 99. So you could have Saturn in Taurus, or this person could have Saturn in Taurus. Okay, there's something really interesting going on here. There's definitely some level of like a physical distance, because even with their end of Temperance here, which is, you know, about patience, moderation, taking something one day at a time, and 10th house Capricorn, I think this person also knows of you. For some of you, there is some secret admirer energy coming through. But if you have actually had some kind of a connection with this person, or if both of you know how like the other one feels, or there's some like mutual energy here, I do think it is reciprocated. With Cuddles Please, I feel like this person wants to spend quality time with you. They're probably thinking about you as well. And even with this, I mean, this could also be mirrored. Both of you could be having these intuitive thoughts, intuitive daydreams, intuitive signs and synchronicities, and there could be a lot of fantasizing going on for this person as well. They definitely want to spend quality time with you. This person in their life right now with that 10th house, I think they're really focused on their career, and they're really focused on their stability, their status, reputation, the public eye. This person could literally be in the public eye somehow, or this person could just be like working their way up somehow in career. But this is a very prominent energy, especially with Capricorn. And actually, Saturn rules Capricorn. So it's interesting we have Saturn out here twice. Um, but it feels like it's possible that they are not coming forward just yet, even though they feel a certain type of way under the surface. They're not coming forward just yet because there's something about their career that they're focusing on, or like there's some work obligations, whether they have to travel for work, whether they have to like, they have other work responsibilities. So maybe right now they can't necessarily manage both. But I will say this energy is mutual and it is reciprocated between the two of you. I definitely think you are trying to like distract yourself in the 3D. You're like hanging out with other people, doing other things, focusing on your own life. But I think your thoughts always find their way back to this person. Your heart always finds its way back to this person. And you just wish, I almost said, I just wish, you wish that like you can just like, yeah, I think both of you want that quality time. Both of you want to talk to each other, spend more time with each other, but there's definitely distance here. And I'm sure same with them, right? Like they're busy, but I think at the end of the day, their mind also comes back to you. Now, I think you are ready to like accelerate something, but it almost feels like the timeline is in this person's hands, or like somehow like with Temperance being on this side, it almost feels like they're the one that's setting the pace, or they're the ones that are taking it slow. Because I think if it was for you, maybe you would like jump into it quicker and get ready to do something quicker. But with Temperance here about moderation, they're the ones that are staying patient, or like they know that like the timing is not right in their life. And this is an incredibly slow energy. It requires a lot of patience, and Taurus is the slowest astrological zodiac sign. I mean, it is literally like the immovable bull. So it's very slow. And I think right now, the energy between the two of you, you're both harvesting. The connection itself, the seeds have already been planted for this connection. So nothing you can do can speed it up. But at the same time, nothing they can do can could really slow it down. I think even if this person is thinking that like they are intentionally slowing something down, or they have to stay patient for something, I think the connection itself is on a different timeline. And even for them, there is some stagnation because but here's the thing. Their 3D mind is saying to them, well, it's because of our job, it's because of our career responsibilities that we have to take it slow. But I think deep down, this is slow regardless of what's happening in both of your lives, because the seeds have been planted and there's nothing left that either of you could do right now other than just let these seeds grow. Like this is just about harvest, hard work, taking it one day at a time, incredibly slow, but you're building something to last. So it does feel like right now you're both kind of going through your own lives, your own responsibilities, your own things. And I think Spirit is very much in charge of the speed of the connection itself. But yeah, I do think there's a mutual sense of longing here. Anything else? You could also be a little bit more spiritual than this person, or a bit more like spiritually evolved, intuitively evolved. I think like when you pick up on signs and synchronicities, you can immediately register it and be like, okay, that's a sign. Like Spirit is saying something to me about this person. But I think this person gets really overwhelmed, which could be another reason they're kind of like hiding or taking it slow, or even distracting themselves by these work responsibilities here. Because I think they do see some level of signs and synchronicities, and even their heart and their intuition, because this is making me think of the heart chakra colors. It's like they feel certain things, but I think they are not able to understand what they feel or why they feel it to such an extent, or it's like the signs and synchronicities overwhelm them because they're not as intuitively evolved as you are. That is very interesting. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing for the current energies here. If that resonates, stick around. If it doesn't, please check out a different group. Now, let's get into the deck that you guys chose. I'm gonna leave these here like this so that way we can see what these cards are talking about. Oh, wait, it's up here. Okay, there we go. I want to make them even. Okay, perfect. Now let's get into the deck. Oh, you're both looking up at the same moon at night. There really is some physical distance between the two of you. I don't know if like there's like, I don't know, maybe some of you even live in a long distance scenario. But it's like you're looking up at the same moon, which I feel like is really sweet. Or it's like you think about each other at the same time. I really think like nighttime is very heavy here. I think both of you, like before you go to bed or as you're winding down, because like during the day you can distract yourself. There's like people, you can talk to people, you can go do random things to distract yourself. But at nighttime, like that's when the world's quiet, you know? And I think that's when your intuition or your emotions and your thoughts and all of this is the loudest because there are no distractions. And I think both of you find yourself thinking about the other person a lot at night and right before bed. This also makes me think of like Cancer energy. So we have Cancer here, but yeah, like maybe both of you are very in tune with the moon or maybe have a lot of Cancer placements. Okay. Yeah, just because you can't see the seeds sprouting doesn't mean the seeds are not growing. I think that's something that's important for you to know, especially if you feel like they're the ones that are like taking it slow. Spirit is saying like they have not forgotten about you, they have not dismissed you. It's just that like there are things, the seeds are growing behind the scenes, but you just can't see it just yet. You can't see what's happening just yet. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and answer the questions. So first, I want to see the when. I want to look at your energy. So this is going to be your internal energy and your external energy around the time that you come into union with this person. Should I pull it for them as well? I didn't think about this. Originally, I was just going to pull it for yours, but maybe I'll pull for them too. Okay. Okay, then we'll do both. So first, let's see, what is group one's internal energy when they're about to meet their soulmate? What is group one's internal energy when they're about to meet their soulmate? What is group one's internal? What is group one's internal energy when they're about to meet their soulmate? Oh, and that jumped out too. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so then what is group one's external energy when they're about to meet their soulmate? Group one's external energy. We have the Page of Cups. Okay, let's look at their side as well. So for the soulmate here, what is their soulmate's internal energy when they meet group one? When they're about to meet group one, what is their soulmate's internal energy? Oh my God. Okay. Clearly, there's probably a lot going on with this person internally when that union is about to happen. That kind of makes sense, right? Especially if they're like taking it slow. It's like that pressure just builds and builds, maybe to a point where they can't keep dismissing it anymore. So it like they just kind of explode, and maybe that's how they come forward. Which kind of makes sense because we have the Four of Swords. I almost feel like this Four of Swords has to be in the reverse with the way the cards just exploded. And then let's also look at their external energy. Oh my gosh. Whoa, Four of Cups. 4-4. April 4th could be somebody's birthday, but just 444 could be a sign or a repeating number you see about this connection. Oh, interesting. I kind of want to start with their energy. It feels like on their end, Internally, what they're going through internally when this connection is about to come into a union is there's a sense internally and externally their lives are matching. And I think that's what is something that's important is they're like in balance. Not imbalance, they're in balance in their lives for the first time. Like the scales are finally balanced for them. Because the Four of Swords talks about a period of rest, but it also talks about a peace of mind. And then the Four of Cups, the Four of Cups could be viewed as an energy of like dismissing something, but I'm not sensing that here. It feels like for them, there's a sense of accepting something. So like internally, they are accepting the truth about a situation, which is this connection. Because I think there is some dismissing or there's some like doubting it, you know, trying to distract themselves from the situation. But the way the deck exploded, it's like the pressure is too much. And in their lives internally, they're finally accepting this is real, or like their emotions are real. What they're feeling is legit. And they feel like, okay, maybe I do want to pursue it, or I want to see where this goes because it feels legit. There's no more hiding from it or running from it or dismissing it. So even though this is a very peaceful card, I do think that like the moment this happens for them internally, it is like an explosion. It almost feels like that restlessness. It's like they're trying to sit on it, you know, trying not to do much about it. And then out of nowhere, they're just like, okay, I can't. 22 on the time as I'm saying that. So that's what's going on for them internally. Now, what's going on for you internally is also a swords card, which is really interesting. This is Libra and Jupiter. So it feels like for them internally, they can't dismiss the truth anymore. They can't lie to themselves anymore. And then for you, the Ace of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this is a breakthrough. This is a clarity. You're receiving clarity about something internally in your life. Now, for them, it feels like this is specifically about this connection. But for you, I actually think it could be anything. You're just finally receiving some level of clarity, and you're like, you feel like you're exactly where you're meant to be. You feel like something in your life has worked out at the right time, in the right place. And it's like you're not doubting something anymore. So in a way, you're both mirroring that energy of like, you have found clarity about something. But I think yours is much broader. It could be about like so many things. It could be like your career. It could be about like moving. It could be about starting a new chapter in your life. But for them, it's like directly tied to the connection. But you're receiving clarity internally about something. Or you're having some epiphany, some aha moment. There's some truth that is finally here for you. Or you're finally able to make a decision or something like that. But it's very mental. For your external energy around the time this person, or around the time you meet your soulmate, you both, you know what's so interesting that I just realized? You're really mirroring each other so much, because for the internal, you both have swords. And then for the external, you both have cups. One thing for this person externally, they're going to stop like chasing the next thing. I think that's something that they have to work on in this lifetime, is constantly chasing that next level, the next status. Because especially with Capricorn, 10th house, career, Saturn energy here, that's all about like structure and building something long term, but they could feel like they have to keep outdoing themselves. So I feel like externally, they're gonna finally be like happy with where they are in life. They're gonna feel content, and they're not gonna feel the need to like outdo themselves again. Like they're finally at peace internally and externally, and they're allowing themselves to just exist in the moment with what is going on in their life. For you externally, your heart is definitely open. I think your heart has been open, but I think externally, your heart's going to be even more open. The Page of Cups is a very innocent energy. It's very childlike, but there is a level of love and emotions here. This is also Cancer. This is Moon in Cancer. So we got, remember earlier I was saying someone could have a lot of Cancer placements. So Moon in Cancer, They're finally accepting. I want to clarify just very quickly. Can we clarify this Page of Cups for group one's external energy when they meet their soulmate? Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, I think that you're emotionally open externally, but you're not waiting. I actually think this person comes into your life after you stop waiting for them to come in. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you did wait. You are waiting, or you are fantasizing and thinking about them. But it's like, how long can you do that until you start to feel exhausted and you start to feel like it's one-sided because you're not getting what you want from them. You're not hearing from them. So it feels like after waiting and waiting and waiting for who knows how long, you're finally realizing maybe that's the internal clarity you're receiving of like, you know what? It is what it is. I planted my seeds. There's nothing else I can do. Even fantasizing about it, like, it's just kind of is becoming mentally draining at this point. And I think you're finding the clarity of like, I'm kind of just leaving it and I'm just going to kind of do my own thing from here. Because with the Nine of Pentacles, it's like you are really focusing on your own garden, your own stability, your own happiness. And I think you're still open. It's the analogy of like, I'll leave the door open for this person to come into my life, but I'm not going to stand there and wait for them to come in. I'm not going to like stare at the door. I'm not going to check the mail every 5 seconds. I'm not going to keep looking out there, checking my phone, checking DMs, doing all these things just to see if they reached out to me. And it's so funny. It's like the moment that you stop putting so much energy, mental, intuitive, all these energies into the situation, and you kind of like focus it back on yourself, that's when they're kind of realizing, okay, I can't keep it in anymore. So it does feel like there's that slow energy. But it's like you're realizing that the seeds are already growing, whether you're checking your phone 24/7 or you're not. But externally, you could also hit some kind of a milestone in your career or in your own independence, with your own job, with maybe even your financial goals. It feels like externally, you're really living in a sense of independence and luxury. But your heart is open. But it's not like you might even be kind of bored at this time, or because it's not like oh, I'm so in love with you, please come back. But it's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm leaving the door open. You can come in, or if you don't come in, that's fine. I think you also have other suitors. It seems like there's other people that are interested in you, and you're like allowing yourself to like meet other people, date other people. And I think you're just internally and externally realizing that you just cannot put your life on hold for someone to show up. But it's funny because like right when that shifts for you, that's when they just can't keep it in anymore. And that's when they come in and like say something, do something, communicate with you. Especially with this being Moon in Cancer. Especially when someone has a lot of Cancer energy, it's like they have to feel their way through it. They have to like, it has to feel right for them. But I think they're going to realize like they're taking too long. They're like, something is too stagnant for them, and they're just like accepting their feelings, accepting the truth of something. So what is the setting / environment of your first meeting or of the next meeting? Since I do think you know this person for most of you. Is it going to be physical or digital? What is the setting / environment of, let's say, your next meeting? We have the Magician. This definitely feels like digital. For a lot of you, I'm pretty sure this person is going to text you or email you, DM you. Something about this feels like they're behind a screen when they come back around. Or it's like they're initiating something online. Because this just looks like they're about to type, like on a computer, on a keyboard. Like, you know when you're like typing on the keyboard? Like, that's what that immediately made me think of. This is also telling me that the ball is not in your court. Because especially if you already like said something to them, you already initiated something to them, or you've like already done something, it just feels like the ball's not in your court anymore. Let me just quickly clarify, where is this first or next meeting? Is it physical or digital? I think even if it's your first meeting with them, it would probably be online too. Or like over like a text. Like it would be on a phone or a computer. But let's see. Can we clarify the Magician for... Oh, Three of Pentacles. That's interesting. Three of Cups. That's the same card. There could be mutual friends for some of you, since we have 2 threes here, and the threes talk about collaboration and another person. So there could be a coworker that kind of finally pushes the 2 of you together, or it's like some kind of an invite somewhere. So even though something is coming through digitally, it could be that invite that's coming through digitally. So I'm getting 2 scenarios for this group. You can take whichever one resonates. First scenario is this person directly reaches out to you through a phone, email, DM, something like that online. Or there could be like somebody else is initiating something and you're both invited, but you get like a digital invite or a digital text and this person happens to be there. For some of you, if you work with this person or go to school with this person, there's definitely some kind of like a collaboration or like a mutual energy. Like because this third party could even be spirit. Like spirit just happens to put the 2 of you in a group in the next team meeting. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you didn't decide it, they didn't decide it, but it just was random and it just worked out that way. And then for others of you, it could be friends with this third party here, with the Three of Cups. Or it could be that they invite you to hang out with them and their friends, or like your friends and their friends. There's some mutual energy. But if not, I think there's this strong digital energy as well. I'm also seeing for some of you, you're getting tagged in something. I don't know what that means. Okay. Now, if this person reaches out to you directly, then it feels like the contents of that email or that text will be something more personal and something one-on-one. So if they reach out to you, they're like, hey, like, do you want to grab a cup of coffee? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to get lunch? It would be personal. But if the union or this initial meeting happens through like work or coworkers or studies or friends, then you would not be alone with them. Does that make sense? It would be that there's other people involved, because in both of these cards, there's more than 2 people. So that would be like that initial first union, or not, I keep saying union, that initial meeting. Or if you're meeting them, but you already know them, you know, whatever the scenario is. Yeah. But if this is initiated by other people, then you'd probably hang out with them in a crowd, and then maybe after that, they would initiate something more private. It definitely feels like it could be a party. We have the Three of Cups here, so it could be work, collaboration, but it could also be some kind of a party, going out somewhere, mutual grounds, like a bar, a club, I don't know, like a mutual place where maybe like friend groups are all kind of meeting up somewhere. It could even be someone's wedding or like an engagement party or some kind of like a wedding scenario as well, because that could be a divine... Because if you feel like you have no mutual connections with this person, it really feels like spirit is orchestrating you to bump into them somewhere. So either like in the workplace or at like somebody else's party, somebody else's celebration, and you both just happen to be there. But this feels incredibly private, one-on-one, if they were to reach out to you first, if you know who they are. Okay. Now, what is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face? Oh, wait, I kind of just described that, but let's ask anything else. What is the actual circumstances that brings group 1 and this person face to face? Oh my God, the moon. It's totally out of your control. Absolutely. I think that like their impulsive, whatever this like pressure exploding energy was with them, that's out of your control. And I also think that if somebody else was to initiate this, that's also out of your control. you can't control it. And just because you're checking your phone often and trying to like keep up with this person often, it actually doesn't, you can't like speed up this Seven of Pentacles, but you also can't really slow it down. I think that's what you're realizing is like there's nothing I can do. And it's just kind of exhausting trying to bend the energies and trying to do all these crazy manifestations. And it's like it's not working. You know, I think that Spirit is really saying it is totally out of your control on how you actually come face to face. So it does feel like the ball is in their court, or there is some divine timing situation. What is the actual circumstances that brings group one and this person face to face? Is it possible for this to be a digital? Is it possible for this to be a text or something coming through digitally? Judgment. That's also an energy of a wake-up call. What is the circumstances? It's quite literally this person's wake-up call. I feel like everything about this scenario is that it's in their court. The ball is in their court. And that's why it's like you just can't wait. You know, it's like who knows how long they could take. Are you going to wait that long? So I think that's why there's a need to just let them have that wake-up call, and you kind of do your own thing in that time being. But that's how you come into that initial connection, initial conversation with them, or even initial meeting. It's definitely divinely timed, the fact that we have two major arcana here. Okay, and lastly, let's see, what is the very first thing you both feel when your energies finally collide? So what is the very first thing group one and this soulmate feels? Ooh, Justice. Okay, let me clarify. What is the first thing they both feel when their energies finally collide? Whoa, Six of Pentacles. Both of these cards talk about justice, talk about the scales being balanced. They're both holding the scales, talk about equal give and take, reciprocity. What is the very first thing you both feel when your energies collide? Okay, both of you are going to feel a sense of relief because there is truth to this. Because I think maybe up until this actually happens, both of you could be feeling like, am I crazy? You know, am I being delusional? Is this like just my wishful thinking? I'm sure that you could feel that way from time to time, but with justice is the objective truth. You know, it is not your fantasies and it is not your delusion. So it feels like it just clicks. Like that's probably that aha moment for both of you as well. It's like, oh, this is true. This is real. There is truth to this. And like, this is legit, you know, and I think you're both sensing that immediately with the other person. So then it leaves no room for doubt. Or it leaves no room for your brain to think, am I being delusional here? The truth will be very obvious the moment you probably like start talking to each other. And that's what I'm sensing is like this clicks when you're actually together in person. I think that if until you meet them in person and until they meet you in person, it won't click. Or maybe it will click to a certain extent, but like you're not going to get that final like concrete sense of yes, like this is real until you meet in person. That's why something feels incomplete until that actually happens, or once like the reunion happens. And with the Six of Pentacles, it feels like you're both realizing like, I want to be here. I want this. I want to put time and effort into this. So I like this because it's not just like a fantasy. I like that this is a very realistic and it's a very like concrete energy because you're realizing this is real and I want to make it work. Let's make it work. Let's put the time and effort into something to make this tangible, to build a solid ground here, to build that foundation and to actually like plant our seeds and see where it goes as a couple. Because if this was just a bunch of daydreaming and a bunch of other, like 12th house energy, then I'd be maybe a little concerned. But it's very practical, especially when you're moving from so much daydreaming and so much like 12th house unknown energy. The proof is very nice once you finally have that first impression or reunion with each other. So here's a few things I wrote down about group one. This is what we're going to be discussing in your extended. Also, ignore my handwriting. I kind of wrote it very sloppily. So 444, April 4th, and Taurus in Saturn seems very significant for this group. Definitely look up these dates. I know Saturn is not moving into Taurus until like April of 20. Oh, I should write that down actually. April 2028. Whoa, April. I actually wrote April earlier, so that's interesting. But April 2028 is when Saturn moves out of Aries. Oh my gosh. Saturn moves out of Aries and into Taurus. So that could be a specific time frame for some of you. I know that's kind of far away, but yeah. Oh yeah, and we also decided something is definitely happening digital through the digital world, and also something about something's being divinely timed. So here's what I want to ask for your extended. How do they currently feel about you? Because we see this mirroring energy, right? So they're clearly thinking and they feel something here. I want to see like, why are they distracting themselves? Why are they overwhelmed? What do they actually feel? I want to see, why is there a delay? Why is the Seven of Pentacles and the delay between the two of you so slow? Why is it taking so long? Is there a reason? Spirit is orchestrating something to take a long time here. I want to see group one specifically. Where is your intuition / perception accurate, and where is it distorted? Like, what are you perceiving accurately, and what are you perceiving not accurately? I want to see that. I want to get any kind of a time frame. And then I also want to see, what would they say to you right now? Like, if we just bypass their ego, bypass their distractions, what does their heart want to say to you right now in this moment? So that's what we're going to do for the extended. It is going to be linked in the description below. It's going to be up on Patreon, but it is available for a one-time purchase. But it'll also be available on Patreon subscriptions for the second tier. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check it out. But if this is where I'm leaving you, that is totally okay. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for watching this. And if you made it to the end, I'm guessing this reading resonated with you. So thank you so much. But yeah, so, oh, also, if you want to book a private reading with me, go ahead and email me. My email is in the description below. But yes, take good care of yourself, you guys. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose the Wild Unknown Tarot with this Ace of Wands, the astrological placements of fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and this clear quartz, this is your group. Hello, group number 2. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you for all of your support here on my channel, whether it's your first time here or if you have watched my readings before. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your energy with me today. So let's go ahead and look through the breakdown really quickly. So this is all about when, where, and how you'll meet your soulmate. First, I want to start off with an energy check of your energy, their energy, and the energy of the connection. This can also be your way of knowing if this is your group or not. If it doesn't resonate with you, then definitely go ahead and check out a different group. After that, we'll go into the when, where, and how. For the when, I want to look at what's happening for both of your internal energies and the external energies when the union is happening. We'll also see where, what is the setting / environment of your first meeting? Is it physical or digital? And then we'll also see how. What is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face? So is it divine timing? Is it mutual friends? Is it, something online? Is it you or them taking action towards each other? And then we'll also see what is your first impressions. So the very first thing you both feel when your energies finally collide in the 3D. And then after that, we'll look into the extended. So it's to be decided for each group. So what that means is I just have this as we go through the reading, I'll kind of just jot down ideas, and then I'll jot down questions that we can ask for your specific extended. So yeah, that is it for our breakdown. Let's get into it. You guys actually got 2 cards for this, so I kept both of them. I just love how fun and exciting this Ace of Wands is. I love the color scheme. it just looks like so fun. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. There's a lot of momentum. It's exciting. It's passionate. It's maybe even kind of steamy, kind of hot. I really like it. So I'm not really getting much more off of it other than it just looks so cool and exciting. So let's move this aside actually so I have some space on my table. So first, let's start off. What is your current energy right now in this connection? What is their current energy and the energy between the two of you? I also want to say this could be somebody that you already know, but this could definitely be somebody that you don't know. And it's just, you know, you're now getting to see who the soulmate is coming into your life. So for group one's current, or not group one, group two's current energy, it says, I feel the same. Ooh, Leo. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is the fire. I'm telling you, there's a lot of fire here. It's like firecrackers. It's hot, it's steamy, it's exciting, it's passionate, 111 on the time. I love to see it. And there's just this like speed. There's like this really like forward moving energy here between this connection, whether you know them or you don't. The Empress with the number 3. The Empress is ruled by Venus, and it is Taurus and Libra energy. Somebody could have Leo placement, Sun in Leo, or Venus in Leo. That's a very specific energy as well. Okay, let me see what is your soulmate, the soulmate that's coming through. What is their current energy in this connection? If only we could travel back in time. Okay. Oh, 9th house. Okay, literally more fire. This is Sagittarius energy. This is specifically Jupiter and Sagittarius. This orange, yellow-orange color is definitely making me think of like your solar plexus chakra, the sacral chakra. There's a lot of passion here. This could be creative passion between the two of you, but just a lot of passion. This could even be like sexual energy. Wow, Ace of Swords. Okay, very straightforward. Let's see, what is the actual energy between the two of you right now? Someone could have Leo in their 9th house. For some of you, you could have your North Node in your 9th house. You could have an air sign in the 9th house, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could have Venus in your 9th house. 7 of Swords. 8 of Cups. Okay, interesting. 7 of Swords is Aquarius. This is Moon in Aquarius. 8 of Swords is, oh no, not 8 of Swords, sorry, 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is Saturn in Pisces. So right now Saturn is in Aries. Saturn did go retrograde back into Pisces for some time. And Saturn moved into Aries. So Saturn in Pisces could be also, I'm about to write with terrible handwriting. So Saturn in Pisces could be significant. But Saturn is in Aries right now, and it did go retrograde back into Pisces like at the end of 2025. So that could have been a specific time frame, but Saturn in Pisces could definitely be specific for some of you here. Okay, there's definitely a mutual longing, and definitely like physical longing. There's a mutual like physically, like there's a lot of longing, okay? Physically, emotionally, mentally. I think you're both in the exact same page, and I think you're really mirroring each other. It does feel like the connection itself, I think you both know each other in the real world. I think you probably spent time together. You probably had some kind of a connection in the real world, but it feels like the universe kind of like detoured the connection. So it like took one person, probably them, because they're the ones coming out with the 9th house, and the 9th house is all about expansion. You know, it's about traveling, higher learning, higher education, long distances. So it feels like they were the ones that could have, spirit kind of redirected them to go do somewhere else or like work somewhere else or something like that. So it feels like the two of you were together. You were getting to know each other. This connection was going really well. And then they were kind of pulled away, maybe for work, maybe for something else, but they were definitely redirected to some kind of a greater purpose in their life. And I feel like that's what this, if only we could travel back in time. It's like they're saying, I wish we could travel back to a time where I didn't have to go do something, or like when we were together in the same place. That's why this really feels like a long distance relationship. They're wanting to go back to a time when they could see you on a regular basis, spend time with you on a regular basis, and before this divine redirection or detour happened in this connection. I think both of you are very sure of the other person, even though there's some divine detour and intervention that happened. I think both of you feel very confident that like this is your person, you want to be with this person, spend time together. It's like you just know. This being like sacral and solar plexus, it's just like you just know. Like there's this deep within your soul, within your belly, there's a fire in your belly, and you just know this is your person and they know it too. I think that both of you feel the exact same way about each other. But I think where there's the differences is you're coming through as the Empress. I think that even though you feel this way, you know that Spirit redirected them to do something else, or there's something happening, especially with like Saturn here and this path of like they have to kind of go somewhere else, or the connection just isn't or didn't play out exactly the way you thought it would. I think it's like, for one, you've tried to make peace with it. I feel like you're not the one to chase. The Empress, she doesn't chase, she attracts. And the fact that she's not acting impulsively in this image, it feels like, okay, the universe is doing something here within this connection, but I just have to accept it. I have to just sit with it. I can't do anything. I can't force change. I can't force anything here. All I can do is just sit still and just kind of go with the flow of what is happening. Even if I don't necessarily agree with it, or even if it does kind of stress me out beneath the surface, I think that you have a lot of trust within the universe that something is playing out in like the way it's meant to play out. I think you also have a deep sense of that what's meant for you will always find its way to you, and like what's meant for you will never pass you by. And I think because of that, and because of what you felt with this person, you know there's some truth to this connection. And that even if there's a divine detour, it's like you have a very firm belief in this situation here with this person. And you're really standing in your power. I think you know that like you're the prize. You know, that's the mentality that you have as the Empress. It's like, I'm the prize. And like, if they want to make this work, if they want to pursue something with me, they can come to me. Like, I'm the prize and I'm not going to go chase them. I'm not going to go force something with them. So it does feel like the movement, even this arrow moving in this direction, it feels like the movement or the momentum is coming from their end, even if it's something where there's distance between the two of you right now and there's like an initial, oh, I almost said initiation. There's like an initial, someone I guess is initiating something, it would come from them. Now, for others of you, if you don't have this history with this person, I think that you already had that initial meeting and it was just fireworks. And I do think that life still has some kind of a detour. And I think on this person's mind, they're like, oh, if only I could go back in time to when I had that time, like physical time, one-on-one time, or when like we were in the same city, in the same place. Like, I just want to go back to a specific time and like relive that with group 2. They probably like replay certain memories, certain moments over and over again. It feels like both of you met each other when you were at the right place in the right, or at the right time in the right place. Initial fireworks, but the universe did divide you up and you did go into your separate ways. But I don't think you've forgotten about each other. I think both of you still think about each other. Maybe you still communicate with each other, because this doesn't feel like, even though it feels like physical distance, it doesn't feel like emotional distance, and it also doesn't feel like you stopped talking. I think you could still stay in touch with them, but both of you are not expressing the extent of what you feel. And I think it's because there's like some kind of a 3D hurdle in the way, which I think just kind of like logistically makes it tough. Such as, say, you met in one place, both of you had to go your separate ways. Like, say you met in an airport, or you met in some kind of like a, or maybe we'll see, maybe for some of you, this hasn't happened yet. That's so interesting. Maybe for some of you, you're about to meet this person. But it feels like there's something here where like two people come together, for example, like an airport. You spend time together, but you're both on different flights going to different destinations. So it's like you meet, it's fireworks, but then both of you have to go your separate ways. But you stay in touch. Just because you go separate ways doesn't mean you forget about each other or forget about the connection. But because you know you don't live in the same place, and maybe, you know, you're both doing your own thing, pursuing your own life, and there's no, like, it's unpredictable, you're not expressing the extent of what you feel to each other because you're in an unpredictable situation. Okay, so for some of you, if you have no idea who this is and you have not met this person yet, or you're not a part of a connection like this yet, then it's possible that that's how you meet your soulmate, which is what we're going to get into. But for others of you, if you already know them, then this is your confirmation, because I feel like that's what we're talking about today, is some kind of a connection where that initial spark was there, and you both like knew it. The fact that we have the Empress and we have the Ace of Swords, I feel like this is so dramatic, but I feel like for you, you were like, I will have your babies. Like, there's something about you being like, I want you. Like, I just want to like rip your clothes off. I'll have your kids. Let's have a family like right now. And it could have only been like 30 minutes in an airport. Like, I'm seeing this really funny scene where you're just like sitting there and like you both just like get to know each other, or you first like meet each other and you're just like, oh my God, like I could, like, you replay every single like scenario for the rest of your life like together, but it's only been like a passing moment of initial eye contact. Like, there's something so funny where I feel like you initially, emotionally, mentally, that even that sexual energy, I think right away you were like, yes, like let's do everything. Let's check off all our boxes. Like, I will do anything right now for you. But I think that it's done in a way where like you're not chasing them, right? Like, you know, you're the prize. But I think a lot of those feelings came up, and quite literally, maybe for some of you, I am sensing you're like, I want to have kids. Like, let's just have a family right now. Again, that doesn't have to resonate with everyone, but that's just kind of funny, something that I was sensing, because I think it's the same thing for them. When they first laid eyes on you, or they like first see you or whatever, with that Ace of Swords, it's just like they just know, like instantly. They're also having these like flashes of like, oh my God, you're the one. Like, you're literally the one. And they just like replay all these things in their head. They have the mental clarity. For you, it's coming through as like emotional clarity with the Empress, but for them, it's coming through as like mental clarity. But I think you're both downplaying it in the current energy of the connection because of the detour. I think the clarity is still there, but you're downplaying it. Okay, that's what I'm sensing. I really like this. It's really fun. It's really like, it's nice. I like this. So let's get into the rest of the reading now. So if you feel like you don't know who this is, but this sounds like the type of connection that you think is possibly coming into your life, some divine, you know, destined soulmate connection is coming in, and you feel like it could sound like this, then definitely keep listening. If you feel like you already know this person and this is something that's already happened for the two of you, then that's totally fine too. Okay, even this feels like that initial spark. This again has this orange and red, which we see in those cards as well. Okay, so first, let's go ahead and answer the when. I want to get a card for each, for your internal energy and your external energy. Now, as usual, if this doesn't resonate with you, then definitely check out a different group if you feel like this is not your reading. But first, let's see for group 2, what is their internal energy when they meet this soulmate? What is their internal energy when they meet this soulmate? Ooh, I love it. Oh my God, I love it. Okay. that's what I'm saying. I love your energy specifically, group 2, because you're just a baddie. I mean, whether you resonate with being feminine or masculine, it really doesn't matter. But it's like with you being the Empress, 1111 all the time, you being strength here, it's like, you know, you're the prize. You have your priorities straight, your life is straight, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you're confident, you're radiant. It's like, I love it. Like, you're just, your energy is just on another level for sure. And then what is group 2's external energy when they meet this soulmate? What is their external energy? 4 of Cups. Now let's see, what is their person's, the soulmates, what is their internal energy when they come into union, when they meet group 2? 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. And then what is their external energy when they meet group 2? Son of Swords. This is the Knight of Swords. Oh, Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Okay. I actually kind of want to start with their energy here. For their internal energy, when they meet you, that initial meeting, they're definitely going through something sad. I think they're overcoming some kind of a hurdle, some kind of sadness, some kind of a disappointment in their life. It could have been emotional disappointment, financial disappointment, but they feel kind of like, maybe they feel neglected, they feel burnt out, they feel like they're kind of lost their purpose in life, or they lost that spark. And it's so interesting because this entire reading so far just feels like the spark between the two of you. But internally, oh, my voice just cracked. Internally, they like really lost the spark in their life. Even the way this rose is like, you know, kind of falling apart and looks really sad and like dehydrated. And it just feels like, yeah, there's some sadness emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially in their life when they meet you. And they feel like they have lost their sense of purpose. But it's interesting because you bring that spark back in their life. They're kind of like this wanderer. They're kind of just wandering. They're kind of just like trying to figure out their purpose, figure out where they want to go in life. Even with this 9th house, they're like, what's my purpose? You know, what makes me happy? How can I fulfill myself? You know, what am I really meant to do in this lifetime? I think they're really pondering a lot of these big questions. And you come in, it's like the moment they meet you and they see your strength and your love and your independence and your nurturing energy, your generosity, your authenticity, like you have everything that they are lacking within themselves, and they're just like jolted awake. Like I'm literally feeling it like CPR. And that's why for them, even though it's like that initial moment of like, maybe they're seeing you from a distance, they just like know, like intuitively, spiritually, mentally, they're just like, oh my God, I need to go sit by them. I need to go talk to them. You know, like imagine just after months, weeks, years of feeling just depleted and feeling that just this energy, like imagine just after years of nothing, you suddenly get that like jolt of electricity. That's what it feels like. And that's why they can't deny it. And they initially have to like come over and say something or sit by you or be close to you somehow, because you literally gave them life. I know that sounds so dramatic, but it's like you gave them life. You gave them the electricity back. You shared some of your energy with them, even without realizing it, because intuitively you gave them life somehow. And ever since then, they've been like, or that is what will cause them to be so magnetically drawn to you and just so feel like that's the one, that's the prize. And I think just the way you carry yourself, even your physical beauty, I think, but this is not just physical attraction. I think, yes, they're very physically attracted to you, but at the same time, I think it's just your love, your everything about you internally and externally. It just gives them life, you know, after a long time of feeling like soulless or like not having that life within them or having the life sucked out of them because of something, being so drained for so long. You finally gave them a part of you, and it like rejuvenated them. Now, I do think right away, they are getting more from you than you're getting from them because you are already whole and complete on your own. And you're not like, you don't need somebody else to give you life or to give you anything really. But I think that they are, spirit is like orchestrating this because they are meant to like take something from you, not in a bad way, but again, like you're meant to give them life somehow. Um, but yeah, and your internal energy, I mean, you're just thriving. You're just doing your own thing, loving life, happy, joyful, radiant, confident, extroverted, outgoing. Like you just have all these beautiful qualities about yourself when you meet this person. That's what you're going through internally. And then externally, the Four of Cups, I love it. You're just so comfortable in life. Like you're not seeking anything externally because you already have everything and you probably gave it all to yourself. That's the level of independence and satisfaction and happiness that I'm sensing from your energy group too. It's like you don't need nothing from nobody. You know, your bills are paid, you have food on the table, life is good. And I think you do it all for yourself and you're just vibing, you're cruising, and you're not looking. You're literally not looking for anything when you meet this person. You've probably been single for a while too, for group two. I'm sensing like there's no emotional baggage on your end. There's no like one that got away. There's no one from your past. I think you've truly healed internally and externally. And you're just like living and you're just like this clean slate. So that's really nice. Yeah, this is Moon in Cancer, Four of Cups. There's just a very harmonious energy for you. And you have Leo out here twice. So you're like in your confident baddie era when you meet the soulmate. For those of you, if you've already met them, then this is your confirmation. If like that resonated with you for the energy that you were in when you met them, you know? But yeah, absolutely. That double Leo is really great to see. And then for them, it's like all the change is really happening on their end. Oh wow, it's like you give them a sense of purpose. Aw. It's like they were really lost before they came into your life, before you came into their life. They were really lost. And you gave them a sense of direction. With this Son of Swords, this is the Knight of Swords. For them, externally, they are absolutely making the first move. The fact that even here, this mouse, oh, holy cow. The lion has a rose in its mouth, and this rose is completely falling apart. It's almost like I was saying, you're giving them life. You're giving them a brand new rose. You're bringing this rose back to life. I just realized that. That is a crazy synchronicity. I think roses, I'm going to write that down on your piece of paper. I think roses are a specific sign, specifically like red roses. The initials are R. Okay. Wow. So it definitely feels like with the mouse looking in this direction, they are the ones that are initially coming up and talking to you. So they're like initiating the conversation. This being the Knight of Swords, it's all about speed and communication. I think the moment they lay their eyes on you, they're coming over. I mean, they're not waiting, they're not hesitating. They are coming right over to you. You might not even notice them at first because you're not paying attention. And it's like either they just sit by you or they sit around you or they just come into your energy, but you're not even like noticing that they're there. And I think they're just catching you off guard. Or you could even be like reading a book or like you're doing something like on a laptop or like you're just like in the zone doing something else. And they just kind of come in and they just swoop in and just like sit next to you. But it feels like they will start communicating to you. So externally, you're in a more of like a reserved, quiet, I'm just focusing and doing something on my own. But they are chatty. They're coming in with speed. And they are not losing this opportunity to talk to you. Okay. So where is the setting / environment of your first meeting? I definitely have been feeling like you're meeting somewhere in public. And it's like two people are just gathering in a public place. It could be any public place, but let's see. What is the environment / setting of this first meeting for group number 2. Oh my goodness, the sun. This definitely feels like daytime, and it definitely feels like you're out in public. So this could be like, oh, actually, you know what else I just heard? If this is not about them initially coming over and talking to you like right away or making conversation right away, externally, they're like they're the momentum in their life is changing. So I do think for a lot of you, they will try to talk to you right away, but it's like there's a restlessness in their life externally. And the only way that restlessness can be cured or like subsided, is that the right word? The only way their restlessness can like calm down is with your energy. So like you talking to them, you interacting with them. You know that restless like butterflies, that restlessness that you feel when you like have a crush on someone, and the only way you can get rid of that restlessness is like if you talk to them. So if they do not initially talk to you, you're building up this fire within them that only you can put out. Now this with the sun, this definitely feels like daytime, public setting. It could even be outdoors somewhere, like you're literally feeling the sun on your face. But this is even making me think of a stadium or a place with a lot of people. So like it could be an arena, or it could just be where like a lot of people gather and people are happy. But definitely daytime, maybe even summertime. But like I'm just hearing a lot of chatter. I guess this could be, this could definitely be an airport because that is a public place. And maybe it's like daytime layover and like, you're just kind of sitting there minding your own business. But it definitely feels like a public setting. You're not meeting online. And this is definitely in person. In person, daytime, summertime, yeah. Other people are definitely present. And there's chatter. Even if this is just like an initial eye contact from like a distance, like in a room, but you're like across the room, even that feels like there's still people around, but you're acknowledging each other. With the sun here, it's like you both are being illuminated in a sea full of people. So what that means is like, even though there's a lot of people, for you, the moment you see them or the moment they see you, and there's that initial eye contact, there's like a spotlight on just the two of you. It's like just you in this crowded space. But it's becoming, it's very obvious in that initial moment of like, who is that for both of you? This could also be both of you are doing something that you enjoy, because this is the sun, it's happiness, it's excitement, it's fulfillment. So you could be in like a space where both of you are enjoying the atmosphere, or you're like happy to be there. Which is why I was thinking about it like an arena, because people go there to watch a game and it's like a like-minded crowd. But it could even be like a museum, it could be a library, I don't know. But I guess it wouldn't be a library because it's quiet in a library. But this feels like you're meeting somewhere where you're both emotionally invested in that setting. Even if it's like an airport, you're still emotionally invested in like going somewhere, Okay, so it's definitely in person. That initial eye contact, initial meeting is definitely in person. So then the how. What is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face with this person? Is it divine timing, mutual friends? Is one of you going to talk to the other? What is the actual circumstances that brings group 2 and the soulmate face to face? Wow, you're the sun and the moon. Okay, this is your current energy. This is how this energy started. I don't know why I feel like I have to clarify that. If I was being a little confusing, I apologize. This is like what you're both currently feeling, and this is what already happened or will happen. So I guess like if you don't know this person, then I guess you can't feel this if you don't know them. I think if you don't know who this person is, then, and this is just like a random soulmate, right? Because that's kind of how the reading is playing out. If you haven't met them yet, is that your current energy is this Empress who is looking, who is not necessarily like chasing love, who is very fulfilled on her own, but you're open to love. You're open to finding someone. You have a lot of excitement and passion about being in a healthy relationship. I think you're finally ready for a relationship. And with this person, if they have not met you yet, then their current energy is they are seeking something more than just a casual situation. Because with the ninth house, this is expansion, this is more than just surface level, and this is like they know that they want something more. And they're also feeling kind of, down or depleted in some way. So it's like they know they want more in life in general. And this being like, if you don't know each other, this really feels like both of you are heading for like a crash course. You're both heading in your own paths to meet in the middle somewhere. And it's kind of, there's a lot of like secrecy around it, or there's this like, it's very, like there's a schedule to this. It's very, what is the word I'm thinking of? Strategic. Like the universe is strategically planning something for both of you to meet in the middle somewhere. Because I just realized I don't think I described this initial energy for those of you who have not met this person yet. Okay, now I'm back to this. What was I asking? Oh yeah, what is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face? We have the moon and we have the 10 of Pentacles. For some of you, this traveling could be about work. Maybe it's like a work trip. One of you, both of you are meeting somewhere because you're both doing something for work and your timelines happen to overlap. With the moon here, this feels very strongly intuitively guided. Even if it's not to do with work, you're both like on a random whim of like, oh, I want to go here. I want to go do this. Because it feels like your intuition is calling you to a specific public place where you would meet this person. If you already met them, then that could be your confirmation of how you met. But it feels like it's heavily rooted in your intuition. But you think that like you're being practical or you're doing it for work, which I guess you are for some of you. Your work or your daily life or your daily routine is involved, but Spirit is planting intuitive seeds for you to like follow that intuitive hunch to go somewhere. And then once you get there and you meet them, then you're going to be like, oh my God, like if I didn't come here, I wouldn't have met you. And if I didn't listen to that intuitive feeling, I wouldn't have done this and this and this. Like, I think both of you are realizing that every step that it took for this meeting, like everything was divinely guided somehow. So this feels like listening to your intuition. Also feels like a whim, like something impulsive. Like maybe you weren't planning on going there, but you impulsively booked a ticket. You impulsively decided to go. Something's last minute here for some of you. But also Spirit is saying like you have to come out of the dark to meet them. Like this soulmate is not coming to your house. They're not going to just show up in your secret cave and be like, hi, I'm here. I'm looking for a group too. It's like Spirit is saying you have to put yourself in a public place to meet them. I want to clarify this 10 of Pentacles really quick. Oh my God, 10 of Cups. No way. This is so harmonious. This is so beautiful. This is truly lifelong partnership here. You're going to this place because either it makes you very emotionally fulfilled, which we kind of talked about that earlier, or it is something to do with your daily routine and it's like something you keep up with on a regular basis. But it also brings you fulfillment. So like a specific gym that you go to, a specific place you're going to on a regular basis. Feels like invisible strings. Both of you have that invisible string. So it's like you're definitely being pulled and tugged to meet each other somewhere in the middle. But it feels very destined. I would say there's a lot of divine intervention here, divine orchestration. If you already know this person, for those of you, you can use this as confirmation that like this is a soulmate connection. But yeah, this is divine, heavily divinely guided, but you have to listen to your intuition to like ignite the series of events that happens after. So there is something you have to do on your part first, such as going somewhere, you know? Now let's see the first impression. What is the very first thing you both feel when your energies collide? Which I feel like we've already talked about this, but let's clarify. What is the first thing group 2 and this person feels when their energies finally collide? Temperance. Oh my god, there's that baby analogy again. For those of you who resonate with that, like, that energy, I definitely think there's like this physical sexual tension here that's like immediate, that the moment you see this person, but there's this like nurturing, like you just want to like take care of them, and I think they feel the same way for you. It's like they want to protect you, you want to nurture each other, love each other, take care of each other, maybe even have a family with each other. And both of the tens here talk about family legacy, building a family together. So I think that's something you feel like in your bones right away. And you feel like something is very divinely orchestrated right away with Temperance here. Let's see, anything else? What is very first time you both feel, what is the very first thing you both feel when your energies finally collide? Eight of Swords. You feel like your life is evolving to the next level or the next step. It's like when you meet them, you're both cocoon, or you're both cocoons. You're both caterpillars in the cocoon, but then you're realizing like now you're evolving into that butterfly. And that's exactly why you met them at the right place in the right time. You're both coming out of those cocoons together, and you're both starting some kind of a new chapter together. Even if you're kind of like energetically going in two separate ways, physically going in two separate ways, it's like there's some kind of a rebirth that happens here because of this meeting. And it's like it changes your life forever, and like you can never go back to who you were before. Aw. I definitely think both of you replay your physical moments a lot, or replay this initial meeting a lot. And especially if there's physical distance between the two of you, you both want to go back to this, you know? Hey guys, it's Maya from the future. So I was actually just editing your reading for group 2, and I realized like the very end where I show each group what we're going to be answering in the extended, it like got deleted and I just didn't have a clip of it. So I'm here to redo this part. So pretty much this is where the reading ended off on YouTube. So this was some of the stuff that I had written down. We wrote down Saturn in Pisces, red roses, or the initials RR, 10/10 to like October 10th, or like 10 out of 10, or the number 10/10. And a time frame of August to October was also coming out to me. So then here are the questions we're going to be answering in the extended. We're going to be looking at any time frames. I know we kind of got this, but in the extended we did get more specific time frames. So we're going to be looking at that. We're going to look at how are you currently helping each other, because we see that your souls are kind of helping each other out. And then we'll also see why the distance, you know, why was there some kind of a redirection or distance between the two of you right now. We're going to see where is the connection headed and what is the long-term potential between the two of you. And then we're also going to see what do they want to say to you right now. And yeah, so we'll get time frames, and I'm pretty sure I also just kind of talk about anything else Spirit wants to talk about in the extended, but we will be for sure answering these questions right here. So yes, that is everything. I wanted to come in here and just relay this information again because I don't know what happened to my clip, but I hope everyone enjoyed the reading. If you're not interested in the extended, that is totally fine. Thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. Thank you for all of your support here on my channel. If you are interested in the extended, there is going to be a link in the description to purchase it as a one-time purchase. If you're on Patreon, then you will already have access to it if you're on the second tier on Patreon. And if you're interested in booking a private reading with me, go ahead and email me. My email is also in the description below. But thank you so much for being here, you guys. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Hey guys! if you chose this Emperor card with the pink Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck and this rose quartz with the astrological placement of Aries, this is your group. Hello, group number 3. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support here on my channel, whether it's your first time here or if you have watched my readings before. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today. So let's get right into our reading. I'm going to move this aside. Normally I get some kind of a message off of the intro card, but I'm really not today. I don't know why. I cannot like get a message off of this Emperor. But let's go over our breakdown. So first we're going to start off with an energy check. Then we're going to go into looking at the when, where, and how. We're going to be looking at, for the when, your internal energy and your external energy, and the same thing on this person's side. For the where, we're going to see what is the setting / environment of your first meeting. Is it physical or digital? I just saw 111 on the time. I'm going to write that down actually before I forget. These are my little scribbles and my notes because, yeah, I can't be bothered to have like good handwriting right now. Okay, so after that, we're going to look at how. What is the actual circumstances that brings you guys face to face? So is it divine timing, mutual friends? Is it you or them taking action? And then we'll also look at what is the first impression. So the very first thing you both feel when your energies collide. And then for the extended, it says to be decided for each group. So that is why I have that notebook right there. So that way, if there's any questions that come up, I will write it down, and that's what we'll look at in the extended. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the current energies. So this is your current energy in this soulmate connection, whether you know this person or you don't. This is still the current energies for both of you. This is their current energy, and then this is the energy of the actual soulmate connection between the two of you. So yeah, this could be somebody you know, this could be somebody that you don't know, but if this energy check doesn't resonate with you, definitely go ahead and check out a different group. But if it does resonate with you, then stick around and we will get into the rest of the reading after the energy check. So first, let's go ahead and look at what is your current energy right now in this soulmate connection. Oh, it says, I miss you. Okay. Neptune. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. 10 of Cups. This is Pisces. This is Mars in Pisces. So we have Neptune energy out here twice because Neptune rules Pisces. You could have a lot of 12th house placements because Neptune is 12th house energy. You could have a lot of Pisces placements in your chart. Oh, interesting. Okay. This kind of has a similar vibe. Well, I don't know just yet. I don't want to, maybe not. I won't say that just yet, but there's something very similar to this energy here, to group 1's energy. So if you were drawn to group 1, for some of you, maybe check that out too. I kind of want to see what's going on with them too before I talk about this. Oh, I do. I miss you. I do. I do too. Venus. Oh my gosh. You both have planets here. You both have outer, or technically, okay, never mind. Neptune is an outer planet. Venus is not. I don't know why I was about to say you both have outer planets. 5 of Crystals. Oh, there's a little cat's face. This is 5 of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, well, let me look at what's going on with this before I say anything. There's a very specific energy coming through. Wow. Okay, the Magician, 222 on the time as I was just saying that. And the High Priestess. Oh my God. Okay, there is a very strong force here between you and this person. I do think for a lot of you, okay, this could go 2 ways. Either you definitely know who this person is and you're definitely thinking about them right now as we're talking about this, because this I miss you is very straightforward. But for some of you with so much Neptune energy on your end, and even with Venus here and with the Magician and the High Priestess again being a subconscious energy, Oh my God, we have all the, whoa, this is weird. Because I randomly wanted to say you both have the, what did I say, outer planets? But then here you see all the planets, not all, but you see a lot of the planets, specifically, like you see Saturn, which is an outer planet, you see Jupiter, which is an outer planet. So this is interesting. It really feels like all the stars are aligning, or like something is written in the stars here. Something is very divinely guided. So if you don't know who this person is, then you definitely have had past lives with this person. And this is like, with all this Neptune subconscious energy, it's like you're missing them from a previous lifetime. You're missing them and you want to meet them. You want them to be in this lifetime, which they will see what's going on. But so it's either you already know who they are, you're very sure of it, or you've had many past lives with this person and you both are going to meet again in this lifetime and you miss them from the past. You're just like, where are you? You know, like, why aren't you here yet? Because I've been waiting. And so this is very interesting. Okay, Venus. So the Five of Crystals, this is Taurus energy. This is Mercury in Taurus. Whoa, Mercury is in Taurus right now. Okay, I'm going to write that down because that's very specific. So Mercury is in Taurus right now. So there could be something progressing right now in this connection. Well, I guess I am recording this in May 2026. So in the future, you can maybe look up when Mercury is in Taurus if that is not currently going on when you are watching this. Okay, I don't even know where to start because there's so much going on. With the High Priestess here, there's a lot of signs and synchronicities. There's a lot of intuition and energy going back and forth between the two people here. And it's just like, you cannot dismiss it. And it's just so front and center to the point where you're maybe even getting kind of annoyed by it, or like you're starting to just be like, okay, like I get it. Like I get that there's a lot of signs, but like, let's make something happen, because it feels like there's a lack of 3D movement here between you and this person right now. So it feels like the connection is ready to get started. It's ready to like take some kind of a next step here with the Magician. Maybe things are aligning, the stars have to align, the planets, whatever. It's like things have to align behind the scenes, but it feels like intuitively the synchronicities and the signs and even like the psychic downloads between the two of you, there's probably telepathy going on. It's just like off the charts. It's like almost like too much, but it's very slow to progress in the 3D. And I think what Spirit wants you to know is that like in the 5D, there's no time. Time doesn't exist. So everything kind of already happens at once. But I think in the 3D, we have this time as a structure and things have to progress at a certain time in a certain speed. But in the 5D, things are happening much quicker or all at once. And that's why all these signs and synchronicities are coming in all at once or just out of nowhere. But the connection is ready to move into the next stage and ready to like become something tangible in the 3D. It's ready to go from the 5D to the 3D with this combination here. I kind of want to talk about this. Whether you know who this person is or you don't, and whether they know of you specifically or they just know you as their soulmate, they're very like skeptical about love for some reason, because this is a card about lack. So it's possible this person has some limiting beliefs when it comes to love. It could also be that this is just how they feel in life right now. They feel stuck, they feel kind of confused. But with Venus here, this is what's making me think this is directly tied to their love life. I think they want to have hope about this connection, or they want to have hope that they have a soulmate in this lifetime, but it's like that limiting belief always gets to them. With Mercury and Taurus here, I feel like there's a lot this person wants to say to you, especially speak to you like from the heart, matters of the heart here with Venus, but they're not able to express themselves if you know who they are. Even if you don't, it just feels like they're not able to like put into words. Maybe they're not good with words. Maybe they're more quiet, kind of a reserved individual. And it's like they just don't know how to articulate how they feel. And that doesn't mean that they're not emotionally intelligent. Maybe they just kind of are not good with words. And they just don't say a lot, or they don't know how to say something. This feels like they're definitely stuck, like the throat chakra is blocked on this person's end. With this being a card of lack, of feeling left out, feeling alone. It's like they want to express how they feel towards you, or even to themselves. It's like they're trying to articulate to themselves, explain to themselves how they feel and what they currently want in their love life right now, but they're not able to express it even to themselves. And I think that's what makes them feel so alone and lonely and isolated and even kind of like left out in the cold, because they're not able to even like make sense of something for themselves just yet. With Venus here, this is Empress energy. For those of you, if you know who this person is, or at least like if they know who you are, they're incredibly intimidated by you. Incredibly. And I feel like they feel like they have to come forward in a very specific manner, give you something very specific, or you might reject them, or you might dismiss them, or you might not take them seriously. They feel like they don't have enough to like match you, whether that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. They feel like you are better than them. You're too good for them. They also feel like maybe you have other options and like you're just kind of booked and busy in your dating life, and that if they don't show up a certain way, they would be rejected. And I feel like this person is very afraid of rejection. I think there's something about their ego for sure that is trying to protect them because of their fear of rejection, fear of like being left out, fear of being ignored. But I actually think that ego is kind of making things a little bit hard for them to move forward. But they're very intimidated by you. Also with Venus here, it feels like whether they know you or they don't, but I think for a good amount of you, at least this person knows of you to some extent, but they are so attracted to you. Oh my gosh, like they would probably feel like you are their ideal type on the outside. Like you check all of their boxes physically, and they're very, very attracted to you, which again kind of intimidates them because maybe they are a little bit insecure, or they feel like they can't match you like physically somehow. I definitely think there is a mutual longing between the two of you, whether you know them or you don't. And this just feels like marriage, doesn't it? Or like proposal or something when you say I do. So they could definitely fantasize about going all the way with you, fantasize about having some kind of a relationship, or they definitely live in their head right now, which is why I feel like a lot of what they're feeling, they're not able to bring it out into the 3D or even communicate it. And even this Venus and I do, it definitely feels like they fantasize about all of the things with you, but they're not able to speak about it. Someone could have Venus in Leo or Venus in Aries. What's so interesting is on your end, you already view this person as like happily ever after, whether you know them or you don't. I keep saying that, but it's like they're already your 10 out of 10 wish fulfillment. Excuse me. And it's like, it's so interesting to me because you're already like kind of head over heels for this soul, for this person, energetically, emotionally, if you know them, then in this lifetime. But they like really doubt it. Or it's like they're telling themselves, oh, group 3 would never be into me. Group 3 would never love me. Group 3 would just never like be my person. Like they're almost telling themselves like to snap out of it because group 3 could never feel that way about them. But you're already like 10 out of 10 could be like head over heels, already in love with them, already feel like this is your life person. Like you're already so sure, because I think you're definitely a bit more intuitively and spiritually evolved. And I think you can just sense that there's a very specific pull to this person. And I think because they're so stuck in the 3D, they're not as intuitively or energetically, spiritually evolved as you are. So to them, it's like they don't see the past life connections, or they don't understand that tug, that invisible string between the two of you. So to you, it's like, oh my God, like I already know you're my person. But to them, it's like they don't know just yet. They haven't confirmed it just yet, or they're still hiding or running away from it. But you already are like ready to have something tangible, something real, or you're ready to meet them. You're like ready for it. With I miss you, it could also be that, like, for those of you who know this person, there could be distance here in the 3D. Maybe you're waiting on them to communicate with you. Maybe the ball's in their court and you're kind of just like waiting around for them to say something to you. But yeah, Neptune is 12th house, which is all about the unseen, your subconscious, your healing, your dreams, the hidden world. For some of you, maybe you're not expressing to this person just how much you miss them or just how much they mean to you. Because again, especially if you don't have history, and like, say you're kind of strangers in the 3D, but in the 5D, it's like you've had so many past lives together and reincarnations together. But it's like the average person might not understand what that is. Maybe they don't understand what that is. So it's like you kind of have to keep some things hidden. You have to keep like the extent of your feelings to them hidden, and you're not sharing a lot of what you're feeling or going through, because I think that nobody really would understand. So yeah, you have to keep things hidden, and I think that's why you're kind of just hanging out and kind of just like maybe waiting, maybe not really doing much, because you can't do much about it. So it definitely feels like some kind of a limbo here, but I do think you definitely miss them. You definitely want to talk to them and continue something with them, or even meet them and just, finally be in the 3D together with this person. For some of you, maybe you've already expressed to them how you feel because we have the 10 of Cups here, and you're waiting on them to get back to you, or like you're waiting on them to say how they feel. Something does feel like it was left unsaid or left like one-sided. And that's, again, for some of you, if you were drawn to group 1, I definitely think you should check that out, because this kind of really resonates a little bit with that energy that I was sensing over there. Well, what I will say is that because we have the Magician and the High Priestess here, things are moving from the 5D to the 3D. Whether it's the divine doing something, whether it's them, whether it's you, which we're going to see now, like what's really going on and how you guys meet. But it definitely feels like there is that transition from 5D to the 3D. Okay. So if this resonates, definitely stick around and we will get into the rest of the group. But if it does not resonate with you, definitely check out a different group. And like I said, this definitely sounds similar to group 1. I don't know how much of it is going to be similar, but so far the energies feel kind of similar. But let's get into it. It's interesting that it feels like your hands are tied for some reason, because with this being Mars in Pisces, Mars is an action-oriented energy. It rules Saturn. It rules Saturn, girl. I'm losing it. It rules Aries. Maybe Saturn is affecting this connection somehow. Somebody could be going through a Saturn return, but Mars rules Aries, and Mars is the warrior. It's action-oriented. It's a go-getter energy. It's forward moving. But when Mars is in Pisces, it's like running through mud. It's very mucky and you can't see anything. You can't like feel the ground beneath you. It's very confusing. And that's why it feels like your hands are tied. Like you're not able to take action even though you want to. For some reason. Like, Oh, like a way I could describe that is like you don't know how to contact them. Say like if you know who this person is in the 3D and you feel all of this stuff towards them, but you don't have their phone number or you don't have a way to contact them. You know, so it's like there's only so much you can do because you literally don't know how else to like how to talk to them or reach out to them or anything. Okay. With the 5 of crystals here, I think this person is in their current energy, they're starting to realize just how much this connection means to them or just how much you mean to them. But if you know, if you don't know who they are, they're starting to sense that loneliness that comes along with dismissing their heart, you know, dismissing their intuition, dismissing their love for someone or something, or like there's this sense of loneliness on their end. Emotional loneliness. Okay, so first let's look at the internal and external energy. So what is group 3's internal energy when they will meet the soulmate here? What is group 3's internal energy when they meet the soulmate here? Now, the internal external energy, this is your mile marker. So I liked this idea better than giving you some kind of a timeline because for now it feels like you would know like this internal external energy about yourself better, right? Because it's a general reading, so it's kind of on your own timeline. Whenever you feel this shift happening to you, that's how you would know that you would meet this person relatively soon after that. But what is group 3's internal energy when they meet the soulmate? We have the 10 of Swords reverse. What is their external energy when they meet the soulmate? Group 3's external energy when they meet the soulmate. Oh, the High Priestess and the Magician here. I was just thinking about the energy of, say that you're trying to manifest something here, whether you know them or you don't. You're trying to manifest. Great, someone's mowing their lawn. You're trying to manifest something into the 3D, but you can't because you don't have a way to talk to them or communicate with them or something. So this feels like you're putting a lot of like mental energy into like somehow trying to pull this out of like the 5D, especially when you don't have a way to do it, which is so interesting. It's like, again, for some of you, your hands are tied because it's like you want to take action, you want to do something, but you quite literally can't. So you're trying to like bend reality with your mind. Maybe they're feeling that way too. Okay, so your external energy is the 7 of Pentacles. Let's look at it on their end too. What is the soulmate's internal energy when they, whoa, okay. Intro card. What is their external energy when they meet group 4? What is the soulmate's external energy when they meet group 4? Whoa, interesting. This kind of feels very similar to the 5 of Crystals. Oh, wow. Okay. I want to start with them. Their internal energy around the time when they come into your life or you come into their life, they're sitting on the top. I mean, this coming through as their internal energy, they are literally the emperor, 2222 on the time. And they have power, they have authority. They could be some kind of a CEO, a business owner. They could be in a position of authority. They could have a lot of eyes on them. This is again making me think of 10th house. The keywords are respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules and power, authority, father figure, protection, control, discipline, focus, practicality. reliability, ability to work hard. Like the Emperor is the epitome of structure, stability, hard work, and people admire you, look up to you. Like you're sitting at the top. You're sitting in your throne at the top. And this is their internal energy around the time that you come into their life, or these intuitive hits start coming in, or they meet you in the real world. Everything when it comes to structure and the 3D world is going great for them. It's like they worked very hard for this level of achievement, this lifestyle, this status, you know, and they finally are achieving it. They're finally living in the dream come true. But it's so interesting, right? Because now they have the money and the status and the fame, but they're incredibly upset or lonely or feeling isolated. Even this, it says feeling down, negativity, depression, sadness, carelessness. And the Sun is the happiest card in the deck. So this is showing me that internally, all of their dreams are coming true. Everything they've ever worked hard for up until this point is materializing in their 3D, internally and externally. But they're really unhappy. And we were talking about you being the Empress and they're coming out as the Emperor. That's literally equal counterparts. So it feels like somebody who has everything but nobody to share it with. You know, somebody who is sitting on all this power and wealth and success, but they don't have that love and the nurturing Empress by their side. And I think that's what's making this person feel incredibly lonely and isolated and sad. They could even be in a, well, I'm sure they are because of their position. Maybe there's a lot of fake people. A lot of people are trying to just use them. A lot of surface level interactions. It's like they're just craving more, especially like emotionally, intuitively, spiritually. It's like they're just craving more of a connection. And since they're not able to find that in their world every day, like they're just becoming sad. This almost feels like it should be reversed, that the Sun is their internal energy of being upset and depleted and, you know, lonely and sad, and their external energy, they're the Emperor. It looks like they have everything going for them, and that's that ego. Remember we were talking about that they might have an ego to where they suppress things. I think this person tries very hard to make their appearance look a certain way, but I feel like you see right through it, or it's like your soul sees right through it if you don't know who they are. So that's a very interesting dynamic. On your end, for your internal energy, you have the Ten of Swords reversed, which shows me that internally you're ending some kind of a painful struggle, a painful cycle in your life. Something is definitely ending, and a new chapter in your life is beginning, which I love to see this, because it shows me that you were living a life that just was not authentic to your soul, to your higher self. It wasn't aligned to your purpose here in this lifetime. It was painful, dreadful, upsetting. I think you're both kind of evolving from this similar energy of like, we're moving away from a life, or at least internally, a life that was not serving us and that was not helping us achieve our true potential. But for you, it feels a little bit more painful. For them, it just kind of feels like sad and loneliness. But for you, it feels like you kind of went through something really tough, or going through something really tough internally around the time that you meet them. But I love this externally because it does tell me that it has ended. You're not currently living in the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords, the swords are not coming out of your back. You're healing. You're slowly but surely making progress, and you're moving away from this rock bottom, and you are building something new for yourself. You're starting over. You could even be like building your own new stability somehow, building new independence, creating wealth somehow, or like starting a business somehow, or like just making money again, just starting to save money again. It just feels like after a level of being totally depleted, you're finally like pouring back into that soil, and you're nurturing yourself again little by little externally. So that's interesting. But you're definitely like on the course of a new path as well, internally and externally, around the time that you meet this person. I think you're also wondering if you are living the right life, like if you're on the right path, because this could be externally, you've already put in a lot of time and effort into living a specific life. And now you're wondering, like, is this what I want? Am I happy? Is this where I want to be? Is this the people I want to be with? Do I want to continue this lifestyle? Or do I want to stop it now and change for the better? So you could be like totally reevaluating your life internally and externally around the time this energy comes into your life. Okay. What is the setting / environment of your first meeting? Is it digital? Is it physical? What is the setting / environment of this first meeting for group number 3? Okay. We have the 8 of Wands, which is Mercury in Sagittarius. I love that energy. The setting of the first meeting. Speed. It says speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, air travel. This could be in a busy environment. And because it says speed and rapid action, I'm even thinking about like sports, like going to a sports game. Something where like things are moving quickly, things are moving rapidly. It could be an airport because it says air travel. It also feels like there's a lot of people there. You could also be stuck in traffic. I don't know how that would work. Let's clarify. What is the setting / environment of group 3's first meeting? What is the setting / environment? Oh, wow. Okay, very specific message. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Okay. Oh, interesting. It feels like you cannot act in that moment. I think neither of you can act on something in the moment. So this makes me feel like you're in a setting where maybe you're kind of like far away, but you're coming to a physical place. Even this being like a physical, like it feels physical. It doesn't feel like you're meeting in a dream for the first time, but it's like in the physical world, you can't talk to each other. And I think there's this initial energy for the both of you of like, oh, who is that? Or it's like this reunion if you already know who they are. But I feel like the very first time you come into each other's lives or come back into each other's lives, you can't act on what your heart is saying, which makes sense. Because what if for some of you, you actually not meet, but you like initially like make eye contact somewhere, but then you have to go your separate ways. And maybe that's why it says, I miss you, because then you're just like, okay, how can I get back to you? How can I meet you? How can I find you? Because this feels like there's distance between one person here and the other person here, and neither people can talk to each other, and neither people can actually like express how they're feeling. And there's a level of disappointment because you're not able to talk, or you're not able to like get closer to each other. This feels like some kind of a boundary, whether it's a physical boundary, whether it's I don't know, for some reason you just can't get closer to them. They can't get closer to you, but it's like all these walls are up somehow, or like these boundaries, and you're like 20 feet away and you cannot get closer than that. And you leave that scenario kind of like excited, because you're like, who is that? Or like, oh, like there they are. Like it initially brings excitement, but the fact that you weren't able to act on it makes both of you kind of upset. And I think that's part of like it, kind of what we're sensing up here, because you're trying to figure out how can I make something work again. But if you haven't met this person and this is like the first time you would meet them, I think you're leaving this initial scenario not able to say or do what you want to do. And I think that kind of adds to like that longing. So it must be that you go your separate ways, And then the universe somehow brings you back together at some point in time. But like initially, that first meeting, you can't do what you want to do on both ends, but you acknowledge each other. I'm hearing the universe is saying we've planted seeds. That initial moment, you were not meant to talk to each other, but we planted seeds in both of your minds. And now those seeds are sprouting individually. And that's why where all this subconscious or psychic energy is coming from. So for those of you who resonate with that, then this is like a massive confirmation that this is somebody you've already met. But if you haven't, then Spirit is saying that initial meeting might be a little disappointing. So this definitely feels physical in the real world, but it just feels like you can't get closer than like, you can't get in talking distance. You can't get close. But I'm thinking there's a lot of people there. It's loud. Maybe you like just missed each other somehow, or that initial analogy of like a sports game, like an arena. Say you're sitting on like super far away from each other and you just like can't get to where the other person is. There's something like that. There's a lot of people around, but like intuitively you noticed each other somehow, but you did not talk to each other. Okay. Or if you did talk to each other, it was very surface level. It was very quick, maybe just like a quick, hey, hi, hello, or something in passing. But like you were not, neither of you were able to express what was really in your heart. So even that leaves you kind of disappointing. And you feel like you miss an opportunity because you maybe don't get their contact information or something like that, or you don't know how to get a hold of them once that moment passes. And then what is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face in this scenario? What is the actual circumstances that brings you guys face to face in this scenario? Ooh, Ace of Wands is fun. New project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new possibilities, growth. Let's clarify. What is the physical, or what is the actual circumstances that brings you both face to face? Oh my gosh, you have the Magician, you have the Lovers. Okay, even look at this. Even this feels like the two people, the universe brought these two people to the same room or the same kind of like area, but they're not touching, they're not talking. They can't get close for some reason. They can't directly talk to each other. They can't get closer than this. So part of this is definitely divinely timed. Because like I said, Spirit is planting seeds in both of your minds that the other person exists and that there is a specific connection here. So that is divinely timed. But I love that we have the Magician out here twice, and we also have the Ace of Wands of the circumstances leading to you guys being in the same room, the same space. And these are both cards of number one cards, the Ace. So this definitely feels like something you're doing impulsively or something that's really fun. Like this is something you enjoy doing, and it's something that has like high stakes, something where like the spirits are high, the adrenaline is high, the momentum is fast. The Magician is Mercury energy, and that is incredibly fast. So again, there's this energy of speed. So something to do with sports could definitely be significant, but it's not something that you're thinking about for days and days and days. Like you're just doing it. You just feel like, oh, that would be fun, let's go, you know? And I think it's just truly like that spark within you that's just calling you somewhere. And it's quite impulsive. I think you could also just be kind of bored, and you kind of end up here because you're bored and you're kind of just saying yes to things or yes to a random invitation. I do get a sense of boredom from you, but it feels okay, to you and to me, it feels impulsive. And for you in the moment, it just feels like it was a decision you made impulsively. But I do think with the lovers here, it was absolutely divinely orchestrated, and the universe gave you that idea to randomly go there. Okay, the more I sit with this energy, I think you're going by yourself because there's only one person here, one hand here. So it feels like you're doing something alone. So it could even be like like a solo date, self-care night. I don't know, like you're doing something alone, something you really want to do, but you are going by yourself. Yeah. Like group 3 would be there alone. It's possible you're there alone, but they are there with like a group of people. Maybe that's another reason you're not able to talk to them. But yeah, it feels like you are taking action to get yourself to do this thing that is kind of fast paced, it's fun, and it's exciting. It could be creative. It's something that like lights you up, you know, it's something that makes you excited. It's not like a boring task. And then, but this person happens to be there. Okay, and then, so I would say this is a mixture of divine timing. Oh, look at that. This is literally the card of soulmates and past lives. So I would say this is 50-50 divine timing, and the other 50-50 is you taking action to go there. I think it's a mix of both. Okay, now the first impression. What is the very first thing you both feel when your energies collide? So I guess this is talking about the first time you ever make eye contact, or the first time you ever notice each other. And literally look at that, High Priestess again. Because we see that you're kind of leaving the scenario without, you know, taking it further. So this would be that initial eye contact. Very first time you both feel, or what is the very first thing you both feel when your energies collide? What is the very first thing group 3 and this person feels once their energy collides? Oh my God, literally celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, homecoming, community, home, Wheel of Fortune. You, both of you, there's this aha moment of like, oh my God, like that's it, that's my person. Or there's this very deep recognition that both of you feel in that initial eye contact. With the Wheel of Fortune here, this is heavily divinely guided and fated. So if you were seeing signs and synchronicities about this connection coming into your life for a while, then that moment is like that aha moment for both of you. But it might actually even kind of scare them because we know that they're not as spiritually evolved as you are. But both of you are like, whoa, like this is destiny, this is fated. This is literally like marriage, engagement, happy home life. This is like your other half, wish come true. So both of you are really just like stunned. And that's why it makes sense that you can't go further than just this initial eye contact, and why that's disappointing. Sudden awareness, choosing happiness, acceptance, retreat, withdrawal, checking in for realignment. So it's like snaps you both out of some kind of like a fog. It just like wakes you up. Because the 4 of Cups upright can be at a level of like feeling bored, content, feeling like nothing is happening. You're even kind of dismissing things. But in the reverse, it just feels like a wake-up call. You're like, whoa, who is that? Where did you come from? How can I get closer to you? And it just feels like just like an otherworldly experience. Maybe in that moment, your higher self and their higher self, or like your souls, just like recognize each other instantly. And there's a sense of, there you are. Like, I've been looking for you for years, for so many lives now. Like, where have you been? Like, there's something here on like, for both of you, it's like you just recognize each other instantly, even if you don't know them. Now, this is interesting because for a lot of you, I feel like this already happened, because the way the energy is playing out, it feels like that's why you're missing each other. That's why you're longing for each other. That's why they're confused. And that's why it's like they're trying to figure out what to do next. So I feel like for a lot of you, this initial meeting already happened, and now you're sitting. Is my mom using a leaf blower right now? Um, and that's why you're sitting in this energy of where do I go from here? What do I do next? So I think for a lot of you, this already happened. So now I definitely know what I'm gonna ask in our extended. So I want to look at. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. I literally had to go and chase my mom down to have her pause on her leaf blowing mission that she's on. So here's what I want to know for group 3. They're kind of out of order, but I want to know, does group 3 already know this person? Just so we can confirm. I feel like you do, but I want to see if like spirit can confirm if like your soulmate is the person that you had this experience with and that you are thinking of. I also want to see how long will this delay take, because whatever is happening right now, how long will this take before union/reunion, and we'll get a timeline. We'll see, does this person know that you are their soulmate? And because I want to see, why is this like confusion or this afraid of being rejected and all of this, like I just want to see, like, do they know that you are their soulmate that's coming through here? And then I want to see, what should you do next? So that's what we're going to be looking at in the extended. If there's anything else, like timelines, signs, anything else that comes up, or any other questions that seem important, I will definitely ask in the extended. But if you're interested, it is linked in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. But if this is where I'm leaving you off, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support here on my channel. And if you ever want to book a private reading with me, go ahead and email me. My email is in the description below. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this Chariot card with the Transient Light Tarot, the astrological placement of Cancer, and this sodalite crystal, this is your group. Hello, group number 4. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you for all of your support here on YouTube, whether it's your first time here on my channel or if you have watched my readings before. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today. Let's go over our breakdown. So we're going to start off with an energy check, which is what I have right here. This is your current energy in the connection, your soulmate's current energy in the connection, and the energy of the connection itself. That's what we're going to start off with. If that doesn't sound like you, then definitely check out a different group. But after that, that's where we're going to get into the when, where, and how. So for the when, we're going to look at your internal energy and your external energy around the time that you come into contact or you meet this person or union with this person, and we'll also look at it from their end as well. And I feel like that's a good mile marker for like everyone's own personal timeline to kind of figure out where you are going to be internally and externally when this happens. We're going to look at the where, which is what is the setting / environment of your first meeting. Is it physical or digital? For the how, we'll see what is the actual circumstances that bring you both face to face. Is it divine timing, mutual friends, you or them taking action? These are just a few examples. And then we'll see the first impression, which is the very first thing you both feel when your energies finally collide in the 3D. So then that's what we're doing on YouTube. So after that, we have an extended, but I did say that each extended will be different. So I have just this little notebook here. So I'm just going to jot things down. And I'm gonna warn you, my handwriting is gonna be terrible for that. I've just been like scribbling, but I'm just gonna jot things down, and then any questions that come up that we want to look into further in the extended, I will write that down, and that's where we'll go from here. So yeah, let's get into it. For some of you, this Chariot just feels like indulging in something. I feel like that's the most appropriate way I can say that. Obviously, I'm not endorsing anything. I'm not endorsing bad behavior. I'm not endorsing drugs, but it just feels like you're indulging in something. I don't know what it is. It could also be like an energetic indulging in something that you haven't done before. Maybe this is a connection that you've never like experienced something like this before. That's what it feels like. It almost feels like a euphoric experience, but it feels like that's maybe how the connection makes you feel, or it's like something about the connection is very different, or there's some kind of euphoria going on. I don't know from where or from what. I'm even thinking about like music festivals. I don't know why I'm thinking about Woodstock. Like everything about this is just making me think of like 70s. This could also be your throat chakra because it is someone's mouth and it looks like, something's coming out of the mouth. So it could be something about your speech or your throat chakra, your communication somehow. But I'm not really getting a lot of messages off of this card. So let's get into the energy check first. Okay, so like I said, this is your energy, this is their energy, and this is the energy of the connection. If this doesn't resonate with you, and if you don't think that this would be your energy at some point in time, then definitely check out a different group. Oh, it says I love you more. That's cute. Aries. Oh my gosh, Knight of Cups. Okay. Let me see what is their current energy. They got 2 cards, so I kept both of them. Oh my god. You have the word love on both of these cards. Love always wins. Ooh, you both got fire. Sagittarius. 5 of Swords. 7 of Wands. Okay, interesting. How do I want to lay this out? Don't mind me. Let's put on some transition music. Okay, and then let's just quickly look at what is the energy of the actual connection itself. The Death card. Wow, okay. Okay, I had to sit with this energy for a second. And I actually feel like this is kind of like a 50-50 energy. I do think for what's coming through is like you probably don't know who this person is. And I feel like they also don't know who you are. Like you're 2 strangers and you're soulmates, but you have not met yet in the 3D. Because I don't think you have history with this person. Now, what's interesting is with the I love you more and love always wins, I feel like this is actually both of your higher selves coming through. Because your higher selves know that, you're soulmates and there is this connection going on. And I think your higher selves are kind of guiding your 3D selves towards this union. But this feels like this is not your 3D self saying these things. Now, I guess for some of you, you could know them. But it just feels like you don't know them. I don't know why. Like it's very strongly coming through like you don't know who this person is, or at the very least, maybe you've never had some kind of a connection with them. Like maybe you know of them at the very least, but at the most you would know of them, but I just don't think you have history. Okay, so I kind of want to start off with your energy here with the Knight of Cups. It's interesting that there's 2 cups here. And it's also interesting that this person, there's only one person on this card, but she's also, she looks real good, right? She has a great outfit on. She looks very put together, very poised, very independent. There's the 2 cups and she's by herself and she's looking in this direction. So she's looking away. So if this is you, it's like you're looking away from this soulmate energy, which again makes me feel like you're in a stage in your life right now, because this is your current energy. You're in a stage where you're not necessarily looking for love or you're not chasing love, but you do want to meet your soulmate. I think the fact that we have these 2 cups, which makes me think of the 2 of Cups, it's like you are open to love, you're open to your soulmate, but you want to find the right person. I feel like you're over it with like dating around or playing games. I think you've just like grown up a lot. You've evolved a lot in your life. You're very independent. You can take care of yourself. And you're just not in a phase where you're just like dating just to date. 2 on the time. And you're not just dating just for like immediate satisfaction. Like you're really prioritizing yourself, your own life, your own independence. And I think you are open to love, but you are not chasing it. Like if this person was to find you somewhere, I think you'd be open to it. But it also feels like you want to be ready for this person or for your soulmate to come in. You want to be like that ideal version of yourself. You want to have your life together, your career, your finances, your stability. It feels like you have other priorities right now, and you're trying to get all of these things, all of these ducks in a row, so that way one day when your soulmate does come in, you are ready for them. But I do think, you definitely want your soulmate to come in. You want this love connection with somebody. And I think intuitively, you can definitely sense that, like, there is a soulmate. And I think they sense it too. Because it's like, even though you haven't met yet, or even though there's like obstacles in the 3D, both of your souls know that, like, you will find your way to each other, especially with this thing, love always wins. Yeah, I'm seeing it as like a lighthouse, and it's like both of your souls are like shining light on each other and like helping guide each other. And it's like both of your souls and your higher selves like know the other person is there for when the time is right. I love that we have Aries here, especially with the Chariot that you chose. This is a very forward moving energy, and with Aries, this is an incredibly driven, impulsive fire sign. It's probably the most impulsive fire sign. It could even be a little bit reckless sometimes, but it feels like you're just in this forward moving energy of just doing what you want to do. And I'm hearing for the first time in a long time, because maybe you've like prioritized other people up until now, prioritized other relationships, connections, people, whatever. But I just feels like now you're really kind of being selfish with your energy, and you're just focusing on yourself. Aries is all about me. It's all about I am. I am confident. I am successful. I am going to go and do what I want to do. Aries doesn't necessarily think about other people, which is what I feel like your current energy is in. It's like you're just kind of all about you, and I think that's the best place for you to be in. And I do think that like it's much deserved for you to be in a bit of a selfish energy right now, because you've always given to yourself. I feel like it's almost like hard for you to, focus on yourself, or be selfish and be kind of self-centered in that way. I think that you kind of struggle with that, but it feels like you're finally putting yourself first in life. Oh, and this I love you more. It feels like a message from you to you, like from your soul to yourself, saying, I love you more. I love myself more. I love myself more than drama, than toxicity, than family drama, than negative people, negative lifestyles, anything that's not meant for me. I love myself more than settling for certain things. I deserve more. So I almost feel like this is even you to yourself saying, hey, I deserve the best. And because I love myself so much, I am shaping up my life to be a certain way. I'm changing things. I'm walking away from things. I'm having my own death and rebirth. Especially with the death card here, it feels like not only is the connection going through a death and rebirth, but it feels like both of you are probably going through some kind of a transformation on your own in life right now, in your own respected ways. And I think you're also realizing, like, in order to truly attract the right partner or the right soulmate, you have to love yourself first. You have to fulfill your own cups first. You have to kind of, I think maybe in the past you've went after relationships out of a place of lack, and it feels like you're realizing you just can't do that anymore. And you don't want to do that anymore. So it really feels like right now you're all about you. And I really love this for you. I feel like you had to overcome a lot of challenges by yourself because of this mountain in the background. And it feels like, because it's almost like you proved to yourself that you don't need somebody. Because maybe in the past you always thought you needed someone or you had to depend on somebody, but the fact that you've overcome challenges on your own was proof enough that like you don't need somebody or others to complete you in some way. Like, you can get things done, you can overcome things by yourself. You are strong and independent by yourself. And it also puts you in such a new perspective that you've like never experienced before in life. You're just like, wow, like I never viewed myself like this. I never viewed my potential, my possibilities like this before. So I really like this. This is, I'm pretty sure, a balsamic moon. So for those of you, if you know anything about your birth chart, you could have been born during a balsamic moon, which is like the very last phase right before it turns into a new moon. Someone could have their moon in Aries, Aries moon. I guess you could also have an Aries sun, but yeah. You could. I was thinking Pluto because this is Scorpio energy here, but no, ignore that. But yeah, you could have Scorpio placements right now. Oh, and even with this I love you more is making me think of Cancer. You know, Cancer is very nurturing, very loving. I think like you're just really pouring love back into yourself right now. And if you have kids or if you have like your own family, I think you're kind of pouring back into the life that you want for them, the life you want to create for them. Now, what's really interesting is I think on your person's end, they are also kind of struggling with something. Now, they could be struggling in a very specific manner when it comes to love, or they could be struggling in life in general. It almost feels like you have your life a little bit more figured out right now than they do, or you have found some emotional balance, emotional fulfillment, emotional intelligence, a little bit more. Like you're a little bit more stable right now versus what's going on with them in their head and their heart. Um, with the Seven of Wands here, with the Seven of Wands and the Five of Swords, I feel like this person is very mentally conflicted about their life right now and about their life path and about where they want to go in, like where they want to go right now in life. They could have some limiting beliefs. And it's interesting that your card is almost a new moon, but both of their moons are full moons, meaning something is at the peak of illumination, meaning something has become very obvious to them. Spirit has put something front and center in their life because it's time to acknowledge it, it's time to work through it, to heal it, to bring it up to the surface so we can evolve from it and move on. So, especially if they've kind of put off healing some specific parts of their life or healing aspects, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, it's like they've pushed something off until they can't push it off anymore. And right now, they're in that peak of it's very obvious and you have to fix it or at least address it now. You can't continue to dismiss something. With Sagittarius here, you know, Aries, like I said, it's very impulsive, it's self-centered, it's forward moving. Aries is also about like your body. It's a very athletic energy because it's ruled by Mars. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Sag is very expansive. It's about higher travel, higher education. It's a very adventurous energy. It's a little bit restless, but it's very like philosophical, and it's the ninth house. Aries is about the first house. It's all about yourself, your identity, your expression, how the world sees you, how you present yourself. So you really feel like you're going through a massive like identity shift in your life, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and that's what I was kind of saying, right? Like you're stepping into a new version of yourself that you've never existed like this before. And for them, it's more ninth house energy with expansion. This could even be their own beliefs, their own ethics, their own limitations, their own limiting beliefs, any kind of a mental, emotional, even physical prison that they had kept themselves in. I'm hearing for some of you, this person could have Chiron, their Chiron in Sagittarius, which is the wound of, you know, the wound of like having faith and believing in something more, believing in a higher purpose. And I think that right now they're really navigating that aspect of their life. This person could feel alone right now during their own transformation, because I don't think they've gone through that like energetic, not energetic. I don't think they've gone through that emotional transformation just yet that you've already completed. So it feels like they're kind of emotionally vulnerable right now. They could even still be in kind of a dismissive mindset, but not for much longer. The Seven of Wands it's a defensive energy. So I think for the longest time, it's interesting. It feels like they wanted their life to go down a certain path. they had like this idea, this vision, or what they thought was true about themselves. They saw their life going on that path. But with this, it really feels like some kind of a redirection. And I think for the longest time, they have been dismissing this redirection, or they didn't want to be a part of it. They were trying to fight it or resist it with the Seven of Wands. But I think because we have 2 full moons here, it's like they just can't escape it anymore. Especially if that like redirection is some kind of a death and rebirth for themselves. It's like they literally cannot escape it anymore. And I think that's why there's a little bit of friction in their life right now. They're just realizing they can't live their life the way they used to, and they just can't like operate the same way. They can't have the same beliefs, they can't have the same mindset. For example, they could have had like a win at all cost mindset, or like, I'm just going to do my own thing, like I'm going to make sure that like I get these things done. But there's something about like the universe is telling them like you just can't live like that. I don't know what. Maybe as we're getting into the reading, their energy makes a little bit more sense, but it just feels like they're at the precipice. They're about to have this massive internal death and rebirth. And I think they're just pushing it off a little bit longer, or as long as they can, until they can't push it off anymore. But I do think this person is very divinely guided. And I do think that this is making me think of the Strength card. So it's like, I do feel like they're like, whether it's a spirit animal, whether it's their angels, their spirit guides, they're very divinely guided. And it just feels like they kind of had to learn something the hard way. I don't know why. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. So let's get into the... Wait, how did I set these up earlier? Oh yeah, like this. Let's get into the rest of the reading, and now we'll try to answer some questions about what's going on here and how you guys come into your union for the when, where, and how. So first, oh wait, did I talk about the Death card? Yeah, so this really feels like the connection itself is going through a massive death and rebirth, a massive metamorphosis. For those of you, if you feel like you know this person to some extent, then there does seem to be a separation here, because both of you were like kind of meant to go your own ways to figure out your own lives, and to heal on your own path. Because it feels like if you were to meet this person right now, they're not ready. And I think you might be a little bit more ready for them, but it just feels like they are not ready for you. And that's why there's like a very intentional timeline here. Because they're still trying to figure out like their life purpose, what they really want to do. So it just kind of feels like they're not necessarily ready. But yeah, the connection itself is going through a massive change for both parties to kind of be ready for union. So first, let's look at the when. I want to look at your internal energy, your external energy, and the same with them for when. So what is group 4's internal energy when they meet their soulmate here? What is group 4's internal energy? The 3 of Wands. Oh, I love it. I really love your energy. This is Aries again. This is Sun in Aries. So we have Aries twice on your side. Okay, and then what is group 4's external energy when they meet the soulmate? What is their external energy? Oh my gosh, I love it. More fire. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius here. Okay, let's look at the soulmate's internal energy when they meet group 4. What is their internal energy when they meet group 4? 5 of Wands. Okay. They have the number 5 out here twice. They have the 5 of Wands, and they also have the 5 of Swords. Okay, what is their external energy? What is this person's external energy when they meet group 4? What is their external energy? 3 of Pentacles. Okay, I do want to start off with your internal external energy first. So for your internal energy, we have the 3 of wands. This is very like you're like itchy. You're like restless. There's like an itch that you have to scratch, and the only way that you can scratch it is by stepping into that new sense of adventure or that new chapter. You have to get something done. You know what I mean? Like you just cannot sit around anymore. I think there is absolutely this fire, this Aries fire that has been lit inside of you, and you just cannot sit around, and you also can't live the same life that you were living, which makes a lot of sense. And since this is already your current energy, it feels like for a lot of you this actually, like you might even be like kind of getting closer to being ready for this person. Like it might even feel like you have been ready for a while, or you will be ready for a while before they are ready. Like you were the first one to be ready. And I kind of was talking about that too. But yeah, with the internal energy, it's just like you need change, you need new activities, new hobbies, a new job, new, maybe even a new living situation. Like this fire, you cannot ignore it. And Aries is like absolutely in the driver's seat right now, and it's gonna take charge. And the only way you can itch that itch is by truly having that new beginning for yourself. And I think you're very excited. It's a very ambitious energy. It's very fun, it's very passionate, and I think you're just so ready. You know, I don't think you have anything lingering from your past at this point. You could even feel like you just have like nothing left for you in the past, like you're totally over it, and you're just way more excited about having this new future for yourself. And the power really lies in your hands, which I love to see that. And your external energy is the Ace of Wands. I mean, the external energy is like you are actually taking charge on what you feel internally. So that's like your exact mile marker in your life when you're going to know you're going to be ready to meet the soulmate, is that you're not just sitting on these ideas, you're actually executing them. So say for example, if you want to move, right? Like we can fantasize about moving, we can think about moving and just like dream about it, but unless we take action towards doing it, we're not actually moving, we're just fantasizing. But your external energy is you're actually taking the ideas. So you want to move, okay, we're going to go move. We're going to start looking at places. We're going to like execute moving. And I think that's how you know that you are actually in alignment to meeting your soulmate, is that you're actually like taking charge of the impulses that you feel inside, and you're doing something about it externally to change your life, to have that new beginning, to step into that new chapter. Instead of just dreaming about it, you're doing it. Now their energy, again, it definitely feels like they're the ones that have a, you know, more healing to do, more to go through. um Now, what's going on internally for them? We have the Five of Wands. And it's interesting that in the 5 here, all of these wands are lit, and that feels like a sense of burnout or a sense of like pressure is building. It's a sense of like there's like time is running out for them, I think, internally. But this pressure with the 5 of Wands, this conflict, this inner conflict, inner like that inner there's pressure inside. Something is not as easy for them. And that actually what makes me feel like when you meet this person, you are actually going to be much more ready for a relationship versus them. And you might even have to take it slow. Like, because it feels like they're not exactly ready for this soulmate connection. But I do think the universe like puts you in their path, especially you being a bit more evolved, puts you in their path as a friend first. And that way you kind of help them get out of this funk that they're in. Because I think if they don't meet you, they kind of fall deeper and deeper into like this depression, or into this like overwhelming energy, this like conflict, mental conflict, emotional conflict, and just this lack of like my purpose in life and where do I go from here? What do I do? They're just kind of lost. And it almost feels like you come into their life to be some kind of an inner compass or like an inner guide. Maybe you are that lighthouse and they're a ship in the stormy darkness of the ocean, and they're trying to find their way to the light, and you are the light. So their internal energy is kind of freaking out. It's not the best internal energy to be in. And it's not sustainable. So there is a sense of like a crash out or a burnout that is probably inevitable when you're in some kind of an internal conflict like that. There could even be like arguing with themselves, overthinking. Yeah, just like really a lot of internal conflict with themselves. And then externally, we have the Three of Pentacles. What I like to see here is that they're not allowing themselves to drown in this energy, because we see that the two full moons, which confirms to me that when they start to feel the pressure building, they're actually going to do something about it. I think that's when they hit some kind of a breaking point and the universe is like, okay, like you have to kind of figure something out now or change something now. And I like to see the Three of Coins, because this feels like they're seeking comfort, they're seeking shelter, they're seeking help, they're seeking guidance. And I think when they see you, they're just like, oh my gosh, like you're so put together, or you're so cool, like you have all these things going for you, you're so evolved, you're so healed. And I do think that you give them some sense of guidance and help. But the Three of Pentacles is a card of work. So I like to see that even though they're kind of on the brink of collapse internally, externally, they're willing to put in the work to actually change the course of their life. Like they're not just dwelling in it, they're not just becoming a victim to their circumstances. Maybe they were at some point in time, but this is really the time when they turn things around. Yeah. Okay, so now what is the setting / environment of your first meeting, and is it physical or digital? What is the setting / environment of Group 4's first meeting with the soulmate? Oh my God, you literally have the Fool and you have the World. This is the last card of the deck, or not the deck. This is the last card of the Major Arcana, and the Fool is the first card of the Major Arcana. So that is really interesting. And it's also interesting that there is a key. So the physical setting / environment, it's interesting because we have the World. So that is making me think of the world at large. So you could be meeting this person when you are like out in the world doing something. And this is a very specific message of like you're doing something for the first time. Like you're finally going somewhere for the first time. You are like doing something for the first time. It could be an activity that you're doing for the first time. It could be a class. It could be a trip. It could be a specific place. But it feels like you haven't been there before and you're doing it for the first time. Because the Fool is all about the beginning. So even this is like you're unlocking something for the first time. Maybe you're unlocking a new home for the first time. With the World, this could literally be like the setting is like a new home that you're moving to, or a new location you're moving to, or a place you're traveling to, or a new city. But this feels like out in the world for what is the setting / environment. There's also this message of like you've been thinking about doing something for a while. Like your intuition was calling you to do something. Say there's like a specific coffee shop that you want to go to, and your intuition has been saying to you like, hey, let's go there. Let's go there. Like we've been wanting to go there. Let's go there. And one day you're finally like, okay, I'll go. You know, you're just like, you just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and you're like, okay, I'll go. Like we've been thinking about it forever. Because this is the last card in the Major Arcana. So it's like, it has been brewing, you know? Like this wouldn't be like an impulsive, oh, I thought about it once and I'm just gonna go do it. This is, you know, the card number 21. It's like 21 cards came before this. So maybe you were thinking about it for 21 days. Maybe you were thinking about it for like, you thought about it for quite some while before you actually went to do it. So that coffee shop analogy, you were thinking about the coffee shop. It's out in the world somewhere. You've been thinking about it and then you finally go. And then this feels like, especially because there's two eyes here, it feels like there's initial eye contact. That's how you would first meet them in the world, in wherever this is. You're both laying eyes on each other. And it's all because you finally went there. And say, for example, maybe they work at that coffee shop. Maybe they also go to that coffee shop. So it feels like intuitively there's a place that's been pulling on you for a while. You know, it could be any place. And you finally go one day and they either happen to be a regular there or you're somehow crossing paths with them there. And there's this initial eye contact for the both of you like looking at each other, and you like feel something. There's like this spark, especially with the way this person is kind of like free falling. And there's like, it's like the apple of my eye. There's just this like, it's unlocking something for you. And both of you are just instantly like recognizing each other's souls, recognizing each other's higher selves, and it just clicks. But this is a good example of like, you're not, you're not sheltered, you're not like hiding away when you are meant to meet this person. It almost feels like, with this being the last card of the Major Arcana, it also feels like it's that pressure that's building within you and probably within them too. Maybe both of you are really being pulled to this specific place, but it's like you can't dismiss it anymore. You're almost getting annoyed by how much spirit is pulling you somewhere. Excuse me. Yeah, something like that. Because it's the world, there could be something about like different cultures. Maybe it's like an Italian restaurant. I don't know. Like, say it's something that's like of a different culture than you, or where different cultures come together somehow. And since this is the end of the cycle, it could even be some kind of a graduation. Like somebody's graduating, or there's some kind of a celebration of life, celebration of achievement. But for those of you, if you're feeling like you want to move somewhere or like start a new chapter somewhere else, I initially saw this key as like unlocking a door, like unlocking your front house, like the front door to your new home. So it could be that it's like after you move to a new environment, you happen to meet this person. Maybe they live in the same building. You know, if it's like an apartment complex, maybe they live in the same neighborhood. If it's a new job, maybe, you know, they also work there. But it feels like you're ending a cycle to start a new cycle. So that moving energy, or that starting a new thing in your life, could definitely resonate with you. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for the where. So this is definitely in person. This is not digital. This is not online. It's definitely in person, and there will be a very strong initial eye contact between the two of you. And it feels like you're not like right next to each other when you meet, but you could be like a little bit away. Like you're seeing each other like across the room, from like down the street, something like that. It could even be a museum for some of you, but definitely out in the world. This could even be an invitation. Somebody invites you somewhere and you're just like, okay, fine, I'll go. Like, say somebody's been inviting you to do something with them for a long time and you've been saying no like the entire time. So then you're like, okay, fine, I'll go with you. And then you happen to meet them there. There could also be flowers, because we see a lot of these white flowers. I don't know if these are daisies, but there's a lot of these white flowers. So maybe there's like white flowers in the surrounding area, or like on the sidewalk, something like that. Okay, so then what is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face with this soulmate for group 4? What is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face? Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You got 2 crowns. These are kings. You got 2 kings out at the same time. You have the king of coins, that's the king of pentacles, and then you have the king of swords. Whoa. So what is the actual circumstances that brings you face to face? This, okay, I could interpret this in 2 ways. It feels like divine timing. Like, you know, one of you is the king of coins, the other is the king of swords. Doesn't have to be according to your gender. It's just like 2 individuals because this is 2 court cards. So it's like that kind of makes sense for that divine timing. Like both you and this person just happen to be in the same place at the same time because you listen to your intuition to go there. And then you're looking at each other from across the room with the 2 eyes. That's the first scenario. So it would be divine timing. The second scenario that I could give is that you're being invited out somewhere. Like say there's 2 friends that are inviting you out, or 2 co-workers that are inviting you somewhere, or even like bosses. Like this could be some kind of a team thing, some kind of a work thing. Like there could be a higher up that's inviting you somewhere. Maybe their higher up is inviting them somewhere, and it's like a company gathering. I don't know. So it could be like 2 kings, which are like people of authority, people that are respected, bosses, managers, that kind of invite you and this person out somewhere. Or it's like 2, which is 2 individuals, you know, initially making that eye contact and being at the same place at the same time due to divine timing. Oh, this is so random. If any of you work in HR and you like conduct interviews, it could be that this person is applying for a job somewhere, or like, and you like conduct their interview, or you like recommend them to somebody. Something about HR for some of you. I don't know who works in HR, but yeah. Okay, so it definitely feels very strongly divinely timed, right place at the right time. But for some of you, there could be a boss or a manager that, or something to do with a work environment that brings the 2 of you together, or like a mentor, somebody you look up to, that could like invite you, and this person also happens to be at that place. Okay, your first impression. What is the very first thing you both feel when your energies finally collide in the 3D? What is the very first thing group 4 and this person feels when their energy finally collides in the 3D? For some of you, if you feel like you have an idea who this person is, you could meet, or not meet them, but maybe you could meet them at work. But I'm seeing like secret admirer, like you kind of are noticing them from a distance for a while. Yeah, sorry, let's see. Your very first, what is the very first thing group 4 and the soulmate both feel when their energies finally collide? Okay, you got 2 at the same time. You have the 4 of coins and you have the 8 of swords. Clarity. Something finally makes sense. If you, okay, both of you, this is a mutual energy. So both of you are going to feel like something makes sense because something was stagnant in your life. With the 4 of coins, it feels like something was stuck or stagnant or just wasn't progressing as fast as you and this person wanted it to progress in life. And the moment you meet them, you get that sense of clarity of like, that's why it didn't progress, because I was meant to meet you. And if it would have progressed, then I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have met you. Like say, for example, if, you know, say you wanted to move and you were not finding a job, and say you've been ready to move for like months and you just were not able to secure something in order to move. So then the moment you finally like initially meet this person, it's like gonna click, like everything happened for a reason. And that stagnation in you moving or not able to find a job, not able to start that next chapter in your life, it's because you were meant to still be in some kind of a situation or an environment in order to meet them. And same thing for them. They're realizing why something was stagnant. And I think that's when you're going to realize, wow, there's actually a lot of divine timing at play without you even realizing it. But you're sensing clarity. Both of you are finding clarity. It's interesting. Their external energy is the 3 of coins. And then this is the 4 of coins. They definitely feel like I'm like this being a bag. They literally feeling like I want to bag it. Is that a scenario? Or like I want to cuff it. I don't know if people even say that anymore, but it's like I want to hold it down. I want to lock it in place. It's like they want to make something official, or they want to like commit. Like they want to tie it down somehow. They want to like You know what I mean? They feel like, oh, like this is my person, and they kind of feel it almost right away, and they kind of want to like hold on to you. But they also find a sense of clarity, and I think it makes sense because you're literally that lighthouse for them. So that clarity makes a lot of sense. Okay, I wrote some things down. Ignore my terrible handwriting right now, but we have Sun, Moon, or Venus in Sag or Aries, since we have those signs out here. The number is 555 and also 143, which means I love you. Well, it doesn't mean it, but you know, it could mean I love you. Um, that could be significant. You could see this. If you see 143, I think it's directly from this person's higher self. So now in the extended, I want to see a few things. First, I want to see, I kind of wrote these out of order, but I want to see what is a physical sign that you can or will receive over the next 30 days whenever you're watching this. A physical sign to confirm that like you're on this path to meet this soulmate. I also want to see how do your higher selves and or souls communicate with each other, because we already see that you guys do communicate. Um, and then we're going to see how close are you, both in physical proximity, because this talking about like the world, I just wonder like, are you already in each other's orbit? So that's what we're going to see. And I'll also want to get a timeline. Of like when you can expect union. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of for the extended. If there's anything else, I'll, just go ahead and write it down and answer them in our extended. But yeah, that's going to be linked in the description below if you're interested in getting some more information out of this connection. But if not, that is totally okay, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support here on YouTube. If you're interested in booking a private reading with me, go ahead and email me. My email is in the description below. But thank you so much for all of your support. Take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.